Alright. Whew. Let's see. Just got done having dinner like an hour ago, and I'm still full, so I'm feeling a little bit more chill now. Adrian says, "Yo," I said, "What's up, Adrian?" Yo. Make sure to tap that screen, everybody, because Bible is truth. I don't think it is. All right, we got Shia Umar. Shia Umar, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I ask every one of my guests these 3 questions, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah.
Question number 2, are you a Christian?
No.
Are you, what are your pronouns?
Pronouns?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you
I
serious
remember.
right now?
I remember telling a joke.
Are you serious, bro?
Deadly.
Yeah, these 3 or 4s are cooked, bro. What's wrong with you,
Blah,
man?
blah, 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 blah. I
You know what you
mean,
should do? I think you should go on a
blah,
treadmill,
blah,
and maybe
blah. So,
if you go on a treadmill, you'll
just
find
to be
more.
clear, you're not actually a Christian. You probably don't actually believe in the Bible. So what the fuck are you doing up here?
I believe in some of the Bible, yes.
Are you Muslim?
I am indeed, but I think you should hit that treadmill. It will help.
You're Muslim. So you know what? I don't believe in your pedophile prophet. So I'd rather be chubby than follow a pedophile. That's just me. All right, Rory. Rory, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older? Rory? Rory, if you don't respond, I'll have to drop you. Okay, Rory, thank you for coming up. That was something else. All right, Daniel. 2 duds already. Hopefully the third one will work out. Daniel, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Question number 2, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, it was written by people, and
Sure.
even though for the most part people are not always the most reliable, it has stood the test of time. You have
Oh,
probably like a billion Christians who read the
so
Bible
has
on the earth.
so
Yeah,
has the
what?
Quran. The Quran has also withstood the test of time, and there are over a billion Muslims in the world.
Yeah, but the Quran came after the Bible, and
And
it
and and the new and the New Testament came after the Hebrew Bible and contradicts the Hebrew Bible.
but like, okay, so I read the Bible, and I don't think the New Testament does contradict the Old.
Really? What does the
Yeah.
New Testament teach about the Levitical priesthood?
The New Testament, and I know it. I know the Levitical priesthood is mentioned in Hebrews, talking about Jesus. I
Mhm.
don't think it's mentioned
And
in anywhere else in the New Testament.
does the New Testament teach that the priesthood would last forever, or that's abolished?
That it's abolished.
Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 15. In those days and at the time I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. Verse 17 actually. For thus says the Lord, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, to make grain offerings, and to make sacrifices for all time. So, according to the Hebrew Bible, the Levitical priesthood is meant to be established forever. But according to the New Testament, it's abolished. So the same exact thing that Muslims do to the New Testament, you do to the Old Testament.
Well, I mean, even though it says, what verse is that?
Jeremiah 33, verses 17 through 18.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. Jeremiah 33. Okay, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel, neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man. No, it's actually the opposite of what you said. It's saying, hold on.
Do you know what the word want means in older Bibles?
Well,
Do you know what it means to be wanting?
Yeah, it means you want something because you don't have it.
No, it's not. Yeah, it means lack. Is it when it says that the Levites shall never want for a priest? It means they'll never lack a priest. That the priesthood will be forever.
Let's see here. Never want a man before me.
Yeah. Vela kohanim ha-levim lo yikrat ish milepeni. That the priests, which are Levites, will not be cut off any man from before my presence.
Never want a man.
Everyone in the comment section, I only take one opposition at a time. So if you're wanting to come up, just wait your turn. You'll get to talk after Daniel.
Now, but could the verse be saying that there's not going to be a need anymore for these things?
No, it literally says that they will offer sacrifices and offerings before God for always.
Because when you hear the wording of it, it says, at least in my translation, it says, neither.
What translation are you reading?
King James.
Of course. Let me take a look. You need to update your Bible, my dude. It's not a good translation. Jeremiah 33, KJV. Let's see. Neither shall the priests, the Levites, want or lack a man before me to offer burnt offerings and to kindle meat offerings and to do sacrifices continually. It literally says in the Hebrew, kol ha-yomim, for all the days.
Yeah, but when I read it, it sounds like he's saying that, they'll never lack, someone to
offer the sacrifices before God always.
But could that be referring to Jesus in that they have it now? So they
No,
never
because
like lack.
it specifically mentions not the Melchizedek priesthood, but the Kohanim Halevim, the Levitical priesthood, and the sacrifices are not the sacrifice; they are the sacrifices in the plural, as in multiple sacrifices. It
Okay,
mentions
but
different
hold
types of
on.
sacrifice. It mentions the Olah and the
Hear
Mincha
me
and the
out.
Zevach.
So hear me out, right? So just like picture this image, right? There can still be Levites and not a Levitical priesthood. If there's Levites in heaven in the future, right? And they will never not have someone, because if Jesus is the one standing before the Father, for them, right, as the sacrifice, then these Levites are never going to not have that, right?
It doesn't say sacrifice in the singular. It says sacrifices in the plural. They shall offer up before me the Olah and the Mincha and the Zevach. It mentions all these different categories of sacrifice that are offered up by not a Melchizedek priesthood, which is apparently what Jesus belongs to according to Hebrews, but according to the Levitical priesthood.
Yeah, when I read it, I think it could go either way personally. So it's not that strong of a contradiction.
It is
The way I see it.
outright a contradiction. It says Levitical priesthood, and it mentions multiple different types of sacrifices offered continuously. Nothing about a Melchizedek priesthood, which doesn't exist in the Hebrew Bible, and nothing about a one-time sacrifice. It says they offer sacrifices kol hayomim, for all the days, continuously.
Now you did say something just now. You said the Melchizedek priesthood is not mentioned in the Bible, in the Old Testament.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
But it is mentioned in Psalms. The Melchizedek
it is
priesthood.
not. So Psalm 110 doesn't say anything about an order. Doesn't say anything about an order of Melchizedek. That's how your English Bible might translate it, but it doesn't say order of Melchizedek in the Hebrew.
Hold on, because it does say in Psalms about the Melchizedek.
Okay. Nitzba Adonai Velo Yinacham Ata Kohen. This is Psalm 110, verse 4.
Okay, yeah.
You can read it in your translation, but then I'm going to read it in the Hebrew and tell you what it actually says.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm there.
This Nishba. Yeah, go ahead and read it in your translation first.
Yeah. So in my translation, it says in verse 4, the Lord hath sworn and will not repent. Thou
that's
art
correct.
A priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Yeah, so it doesn't say order in Hebrew. It uses the Hebrew word devar. You know what devar means? It means a word. It says, Nishba Adonai, the Lord has sworn, Velo Yinachem, and will not repent or not change his mind. Ata Kohen, you are a priest, Le'olam, forever. Al Devrati, according to my word, Melchizedek, which could be either Melchizedek or more likely it's, according to my word, a righteous king.
So what you're saying is you think it's more believable that they changed or did a faulty translation to use the word order?
Oh, yes. The Christian translators translate shit incorrectly all the time, especially in the Hebrew Bible, mostly in the Hebrew Bible.
So they were smart enough to change that to order, is what you're saying.
Well, to be fair to the translators of the King James Version, they aren't really doing a translation. They're doing a revision of a previous translation, being the Bishop's Bible. It's the people who translated the Bishop's Bible who really fucked up.
All right, but okay, so let's assume that the word order is wrong.
Yeah, there's no mention of a brotherhood or order or anything like that. It just mentions that you will be a priest forever according to my word, a righteous king.
So, but even with the word order gone, why is God, giving some revelation to David concerning Melchizedek, who hasn't?
He's not. So God's not speaking. I mean, this is not really truly a word from God. This is a psalmist who has written this psalm for King David as a way of praising King David and extolling King David.
Okay, but why is it there in the why is there a verse that says the Lord has sworn, and then talks about a priest in a Melchizedek?
Well, it doesn't really say Melchizedek. It says Melchizedek, which means just a righteous king. It's translated as a proper noun in your Bible, but it's not really a proper noun. It says that you will be, according to my word, a righteous king.
Okay, but a priest forever, people die. The Book of Hebrews talks about this, right? So,
sure.
So if there's going to be a priest who's not going to ever die,
well, no, you have to remember, this is a poem written by a poet for King David. It expressly states at the very beginning of the psalm that it's a psalm for David. This is just the psalmist, basically showering praises upon King David. Nothing more. This is not prophetic.
But the context of Psalms 10, it starts with the Lord
110
said unto my Lord. So the whole context of the entire...
that's not the beginning of the psalm. The psalm begins with Le David Mizmor, for David, a psalm, and then it goes into talking about.
Now, I don't know Hebrew, but when you read it, is the verse starting with the Father talking about some Lord?
So in your Bible, you'll see a superscription above verse 1, right? You see a superscription?
Oh, yeah.
There's not.
Yeah, the Lord. Yeah, no, there is. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, that superscription is actually in the Hebrew. It's not just something that the translators put in. In the original Hebrew, it begins with Le David Mizmor, for David, a psalm. And then it says, Ne'um Yahweh La Adoni Shev Limini Ad Ishit Yovecha Hadom Leregelicha. For David, a psalm. Thus saith Yahweh to my master, or my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet.
Okay, so thus says Yahweh unto my master?
Yeah, the Hebrew word here after Yahweh is La Adoni, not Adonai, which is a title for God, but La Adoni, which means my master. It's used throughout the Hebrew Bible for kings. Bathsheba calls King David Adoni, my Lord.
So if this is a revelation that David's receiving, is that correct? Or is
a psalmist is writing this for David.
But it says a psalm of David in my book.
In the English, yes, it says of David, but in the Hebrew, it says La David Mizmor. So when you have you know what prepositions are?
No.
So prepositions are words like for. For is a preposition, or to is a preposition. In the Hebrew, the preposition used here before David's name is the letter Lamed. Think like an L sort of thing. Lam David. And the Le in Le David, the Lamed, means to, for, about, or concerning.
So what you're saying is this psalm was given to David as a prophecy concerning him.
Not a prophet. It's not intended to be a prophecy. The Psalms in their original setting were not intended to be prophetic in nature. They're just poems and songs to be sung for the king and by the king.
Then, so they don't have any spiritual weight, is what you're saying?
No, later Jewish and Christian authors attributed to, especially Christian authors, attributed to the Psalms prophetic nature, but the Psalms themselves never make such a claim about themselves that they're prophetic, and they never claim to be written by David, but only for David in the original Hebrew.
Because there's many prophecies in Psalms that are quoted in the New Testament records, concerning the life of Jesus.
Yeah, the New Testament is notorious for taking passages from the Hebrew Bible out of context to make them sound as if they are about Jesus.
So, okay, so like Psalms 22 that talks about like in him being pierced.
Not
so
pierced.
What you're saying is
that's a mistranslation. It says Ka'ari Yadai Ve'Reglai in the Hebrew, which means they are like a lion at my hands and feet.
Wait, what was your translation of that? Sorry.
Ka'ari Yadai Ve'Reglai, which means like a lion at my hands and feet.
Okay, so your understanding of the Hebrew is what makes you believe it's less than inspired. Is what you're saying? That it's
the
not
text never. The text never claims. The text never claims to be inspired. It's a psalm for David, and it's about his sufferings. No.
No, I mean like just the Bible as a whole. Because obviously the New Testament claims to be inspired by God.
Well, the New Testament claims that the scriptures are theopneustos in Greek, which some have translated inspired. I don't think that's quite right, but it doesn't give you a list of books which are that. So it never makes the claim that the New Testament is theopneustos. In all likelihood, the author was probably thinking of the Hebrew Bible when he wrote that, but that's still just a claim on the part of the author.
Okay, and are you fluent in Hebrew?
I wouldn't say fluent in the sense that I can speak it like if I went to Israel, I wouldn't be able to talk to them like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak modern Hebrew, but I can read the Hebrew Bible.
So your understanding is good enough to be able to say, no, this translation is 100% not correct.
Yes, and in fact, for example, in the Psalm that we just discussed, Psalm 22, verse 16, where it says, Ka'ari, the word Ka'ari there is not pierced, but like a lion, and it actually occurs elsewhere in the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, verse 13, and there, the translators actually translate it correctly as like a lion.
All right, so now here's my question, right? Hold on. Okay, so you think they purposely mistranslated the Old Testament to form a story
to make them sound Christological. Yeah. I would say this is nearly always the fault of the translator, although I would say Psalm 22 pretty much is, because Psalm 22:16 isn't quoted in the New Testament, so it's not really the fault of the authors of the New Testament. But the New Testament is the one that starts this trend. They do misquote the Hebrew Bible often, mistranslating it as well, and the Christian tradition just sort of picks up on that and continues the trend.
But now the King James, that's like way after all these books are written, like that version, right? So, so is there a version that's correct translation, or?
So you're never going to get a translation that's 100% correct, because everyone's going to bring like their theological and dogmatic like bias to it. You can get translations which are close, especially if you want a good translation of the Hebrew Bible. You're probably going to go with people whose main language is Hebrew. So Jewish people.
Right. So if you're, not really buying into the story because of bad translation, but you have the ability to read the right, language, couldn't you read the originals and then, like, do they not match? Like, are you saying the originals don't match up also, or as far as the story goes?
But I don't understand the question.
Yeah. So, like, you're saying the translations don't match with
The original Hebrew.
are not correct. The translations are not correct, and in not being correct, they're purporting a message that's not there.
Yeah, especially in the Hebrew Bible.
But if you had the ability to look at the original, is it the same? Like the message is still there, though, right?
Well, there's nothing about Jesus in the Hebrew Bible, and there's nothing that teaches a Messiah who dies and for the sins of others and resurrection of the dead and who is God and all this kind of stuff. So you don't really get the same message in the Hebrew Bible as you do when it's translated in Christian Old Testaments.
Right. So all right. Now I do have one verse that I think could sway you to some authenticity of the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's in 1 Corinthians 15.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with this passage. I talk about it all the time on this channel. Yeah, the claim that Paul, that Jesus appeared to Cephas first, and then to the 12, and then to the 500, and then least of all.
That's actually not what I was going to do. It's
something. Not the resurrection stuff. I think that's the content of the entire chapter.
No, it's not. It's something different, actually.
1 Corinthians 15.
Yeah.
All they talk about is the resurrection and the body.
Well, there's something that I noticed. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 41.
Let's see. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. Indeed, stars differs from star in glory.
Yeah. So now, when I read, now I read the Bible a lot. So so most of the time I just read it fast, skim through it. But the wording is weird. Where so my translation, it says there's one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars, which is weird because the sun, we know now, the sun is a star, right? So obviously that's like, so obviously that sounds like the writer is not intelligent, right? But then there's a colon, and it says, for one star differeth from another star in glory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could have been easily seen from if you look up into the night sky, some stars appear brighter than others.
Well, no. I know, but hear me out. In the first half of the sentence, the writer is purporting that they think the sun, the moon, and the stars are different things. But then there's a colon. And it says, for one star, for one star differeth from another star in glory. And if you look at it, it's almost like Paul, when he was writing it, he was, I don't know, it's almost like the second half of the sentence doesn't make any sense to say unless there's a God inspiring the language telling us that he knows that the sun is a star.
What? No, this is just talking about all. If you look up into the night sky and you look at all the stars, some of them are brighter than the other ones. Stars differ in their glory.
No, but look, it says for. Okay, so look, just hear me out. In the second half of the verse, it says, for one star differeth from another star in glory, as if to, not and, but for, as if to capitalize on the first thing it said.
No, the last thing he said.
Right.
He mentions the sun, then he mentions the moon, then he mentions glory of the stars, and then he goes on to say, for one star is more glorious than the other. This is just a reference to the stars in the sky. Some are more brighter and some are less brighter than the others. Nothing more.
Okay. I got another verse I can show you that I think is.
Sure, we can go with one more verse, but then I have to move on.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So in Matthew chapter 2, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on. Matthew 2.
Is this going to be related to prophecy?
Yeah.
Is it the out of Egypt I called my son?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Did you read the original verse that he's quoting from?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Who is it? Who does the verse? Who does Hosea say he's talking about?
Israel.
All right, so it's not about the Messiah, right? It's not even a prophecy.
That is correct.
It's not even a prophecy. It's talking about the past. It's referring to the Exodus.
Yeah. So Matthew is the very first book of New Testament, right? And it's at the beginning, Matthew 2. It's really close to the beginning of anything anyone's going to read. Does that make sense? Right?
Sure.
And he starts his story with the most blatant, obvious contradiction to the greatest story ever told in the Old Testament. Think about it. Just think about it. Like all the Jews, the greatest story of the Old Testament is Israel's exodus from Egypt, right? That Israel is, that they are the children of God, that God brought them out of Egypt and brought them out of slavery, right? I mean, nobody's ever going to go against that. Nobody, if they're smart. But Matthew, he takes a verse that's so clearly talking about Israel, and he says, no, this verse is talking about Jesus. Now, just hear me out. Why would people fabricate a story they want you to believe, starting with the most blatant, obvious contradiction to the Old Testament?
Because most people in the ancient world were illiterate and couldn't read, and the author of Matthew doesn't expect his audience to fact check him.
But what do you think is more likely? That the people who, quote unquote, formulated this story to deceive us, started their record with an obviously blatant contradiction, or that Matthew received some revelation from God concerning this verse and its fulfillment in Jesus?
The prior, because are you going to be consistent? Are you going to say that Hosea 11:2 is about Jesus as well?
I don't know Hosea 11:2. I just, yeah.
Probably
not.
As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam and burned incense to graven images. Did Jesus do that?
No, exactly. So it's even more of a contradiction.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I think it's just that Matthew doesn't expect his audience to fact check him. I think that's obviously Occam's razor leads itself to a more naturalistic explanation over divine revelation.
But if these people are purporting such this grand, elaborate scheme, trying to deceive us, I mean, obviously this Matthew guy is not very smart. Why are people?
No, he's not. He's not even reading the Hebrew Bible. He's reading a Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. And he doesn't even have really good literacy because he makes all kinds of mistakes when he reads it.
I know, but why would he say, out of Egypt have I called my son, in reference to Jesus, when the verse is so obviously talking about Israel, not Jesus? Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Probably because he thinks there's a secret hidden meaning to it the way that you do. But just because he thought that doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, I can, I can agree. And I can agree with that. Yeah. It's, no, I mean, yeah, that's all I had. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up, Daniel. It was actually a really good talk.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Do we have anyone else in the guest box? I had someone who was just in my guest box. Hey, the lines are open. If you want to come up and talk to me, now is the time. Now is the time to debate me. Let's see. What kind of comments we got going on over here? I know there's a lot of people whining in the comment section about how I'm wrong and stuff like that. Pretty typical. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one from Dr. Joe. Hi, Dr. Joe. When a contradiction is really a brilliant trickster God instead of a contradiction. Yeah, I mean, if it really is, like King James Bible, do you know who he was? He also wrote Book of Demonology, Evil Dictator Ruler. I mean, it's just a bad translation too. But yeah, why is God tricking us so much, Dr. Joe? That's right. It's like, oh, God's not a God of confusion, but God, that book is super confusing. What? Who would trust a Bible translation by LeBron James? Yeah, that's who James was. LeBron James. LeBron James. Let's see. Good to see you too, Dr. Joe. God is the hide and seek champion of the world. Yeah, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Now, there are 77 people in this live right now. Surely some of you are Christians who would like to come up and talk to me about why I should believe the Bible. And I'd love to hear it. So, hurry up and get into the box. Let's talk. Let's see. Smashy B says, hi, Dalton. Hello, Smashy B. Student says they tried to paint Jesus wherever they could in the Old Testament. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. Guys, I can't really provide y'all any sort of entertainment if no one comes up and talks. Come on, Christians, I believe in you. Why me says believe in the Bible, it's about Jesus. I mean, somewhat, I suppose. 25,000. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Someone said 25,000 manuscripts of the Bible, and also dozens of apostles who delivered the word of God to us, and you are behind a phone on this program asking why, how silly you are. The number of manuscripts doesn't give me any reason why I should accept those manuscripts. All right, I'm going to bring up a friend, Cyber, and then Sam. Hi, Cyber. How you doing?
Hey, I'm just going to be up here just for a quick minute, then hop down because I'm still at work. But something that I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but I think more people should. So Luke makes the claim that he's seeking to make like an accurate and ordered account of the life of Christ. And he puts the birth of Christ during the governorship of Quirinius, which is in 6 CE, right? Now, how old does the Bible claim Jesus was when he started his ministry?
It says he was about, oh yeah, this is a good point. So he was baptized when he was about 30, which would place his baptism around 36 CE.
And when was Pilate removed, according to Josephus, from Judea?
Was it in 36?
It was in 36. And Josephus passed away in 39 in Rome. Or not Josephus, Pilate passed away in 39. So even like Luke, like if we look at the timeline of Luke, Pilate couldn't have tried Jesus. It's impossible. He wasn't in Judea at the time.
Yeah, was he not? At what part of the year did Pilate leave his position as procurator? Was it before Passover?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember exactly. But that's at the beginning of Christ's ministry, though, right? Jesus' ministry lasted roughly 3 years, so that puts it at 39. So by 39, Pilate was definitely
Oh,
not in Judea anymore
oh,
and
that's
was
good. Yeah, I
probably
didn't factor.
unalived. Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't factor in the multiple years of his ministry. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to remember that one actually. That's
Yep.
good, Cyber.
Yep. Anyways, I'm going to hop on down. Thanks for having me up.
Absolutely, bud. Thank you for that little tidbit. There we are. Sam, we have here Sam Donaldson. Sam, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask all the same three questions I ask every one of my unknown guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number one: are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah, I am.
Question number two: are you a Christian or a Bible believer?
Yes. Yeah.
Question number three: what are your pronouns?
I'm gender fluid, so whatever you want to call me.
All right, I'll just use they them pronouns.
Okay.
I am Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
That's a fair question. Can I just touch on one thing the last guest or friend had touched on?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some of the points you made, I wouldn't agree with personally. I mean, there's unless he's smarter than scholars who are actually non-Christian studying this, I respect it. I'd have to look into what he was talking about, but it's pretty much been confirmed that there was a guy called Jesus who walked the earth.
I mean,
Go ahead.
that wasn't his contention. He wasn't contending that Jesus didn't exist.
Okay. What was
Only that the gospels aren't accurate about when he was born or when he lived or anything like that. Because
Oh, he just questioned the timeline slightly.
yeah, the timeline is all over the place. So Matthew places Jesus' birth around 64 BC, and then the author of Luke places it around 6 CE.
Yeah, that wouldn't. Yeah, and again, that wouldn't bother me too much as a Christian, just because it's almost like somebody seeing a crash from different angles. You'll hear one person saying, "Well, it was a guy with brown hair, and he had blue
What-
jeans on," and the next guy
It's
said,
not.
"Wait a second."
What if
and
one-
the
what-
next guy
What
said,
if one?
"Go
What
ahead."
if one guy said the crash took place in 1996, and the other person said the crash took place in 2006?
You're saying there's that much of a difference? The dates?
Yeah, 4 BC was when Herod the Great died, which according to the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus was born before Herod's death, and the Gospel of Luke says that Jesus was born during the census under Quirinius,
Could you
which
pull
was
up
at
the
in 60 E.
Could you put them? I've never seen that. Could you put the manuscript? Because you would be debunking, like I'm talking dozens of scholars who are non-Christians that would debunk this. But yeah, well, let's see the
What do you mean by manuscript?
Yeah, like they've confirmed, they've looked into this, they've spent their whole lives confirming the accuracy of the Gospels.
So, okay, sure. In regard to that Jesus was born under Herod the Great, we can simply look at Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 2, where it says, in the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem asking, where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? So Matthew places Jesus' birth during the reign of King Herod the Great, correct?
Could you, let me pull up, I'll pull up myself. What verse was it you just read?
Matthew chapter 2, verse 1.
Okay, give me a second. Matthew. And it's your argument, not that would debunk the faith for, I don't think, maybe one or two Christians.
Well, it would either mean Matthew is wrong about the nativity or Luke's wrong about the nativity.
By a few years.
By a decade. And but also the facts about the story are completely off from one another as well.
What facts would you say apart from you? Are you talking about details are off? Like Jesus didn't die on the cross?
Well, no, like for example, like Luke says that Jesus' family was originally from Nazareth.
Right.
And the only reason they traveled to Bethlehem was for the census. Jesus was born there, and then 8 days later, as per the law of Moses, they took him to Jerusalem to be circumcised, and then they returned home to Nazareth. Matthew says that they simply had a house in Bethlehem. Then they escaped from Herod to Egypt, and then they went to Nazareth.
Could you pull up those two verses on the screen somehow?
I don't have a computer. I don't have.
Oh, that's fine. Sorry,
doing
man.
that.
Say those. I'm gonna write them down. I'm happy to read into them more. Say the two verses. Sorry.
Matthew, if you want, for which one? For
The two that you mentioned there. The one that says like he was in Nazareth, and the other guy saying he's somewhere else.
Sure, it's just all of Matthew chapter 2 and all of Luke chapter 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Why would they write it differently? I don't know.
Well, because I mean they're making up the story. They're making up stories in order to get Jesus to be born in Bethlehem, because Jesus was famously known as being from Nazareth, but they need him to be born in Bethlehem because they think the Messiah is supposed to be born there, according to a misreading of Micah. So they each come up with their own stories, and they're not collaborating with one another. So they come up with completely different narratives from one another.
All right, let me read this. And what specific verse was it in Matthew 2?
That says that they were from Nazareth originally?
Yeah, there's probably like one or two verses that you referenced that say it's different to Luke.
So Luke chapter 2 verse 4 says that they are from Nazareth.
Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second. Wait 1 second. Let's read together. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. Okay,
so they're from Nazareth in the story of Luke. Then Luke chapter 2 verse...
They were, so 2 seconds, let me just read that one more time, my bad. Asked them where the Messiah was to be born.
You're in Matthew.
I think you said to read Matthew 2. Am I wrong?
Luke chapter 2 verse 4 is where it says that they were from Nazareth.
My apologies. Luke chapter 2. Are you religious at all, like other religions, or?
No, I'm ex-Christian.
Okay. It was this sort of stuff is the reason you kind of said not for me?
It's a multiplicity of reasons in regards to the Bible.
Gotcha. Fair enough, man. Luke chapter 2. You said verse, what was it, sorry?
4.
4. All right, sorry for being so slow. My bad. All right, let's see if this comes up. I'm just going to get my hard copy, so look at my bed. I'm in the UK, by the way. It's 1 a.m. Going old school again. Let me put my light on. All right. Let me go to good old Luke. Matthew, Mark, Luke. All right, I'm here. Luke, you said Luke 2, right?
Yeah, chapter 2, verse 4.
All right, thanks, man. All right, Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem.
So it portrays them as being from Nazareth, correct?
Let me read one more time. So Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth. So yeah, Joseph was from, it sounds like he was from Nazareth.
Yeah, and Mary is with them. She's traveling with
Joseph
them.
also went out. Well, all this is Joseph went out of Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth into Judea. It doesn't say he was based there. He could have been based somewhere else. He went to...
Oh no, it says, we'll see why it says they returned. We'll see. We'll get to there in a second.
Okay.
But anyways, they are coming from Nazareth. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus is still inside Mary. It says that she's expecting. Chapter 2, verse 21 tells us what happens 8 days after Jesus is born.
Okay, I see. And when 8 days were completed for the circumcision of the child, his name was called Jesus, the name given by the angels before he was conceived in the womb.
All right, so 8 days after Jesus is born, they take him to the temple in Jerusalem. They circumcise him, have him named. Then in verse 39, what happens right after all this is done?
Give me 1 second. Let me flip the page. 39. So when they had performed all things according to the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own city. Okay, I see what you're saying. To their own city, Nazareth.
So the story according to Luke is they're from Nazareth. They travel to Bethlehem because of the census. Jesus is born. 8 days later, they take him to Jerusalem in the temple, circumcise him, name him, and then they return home to Nazareth. Correct?
Yeah, I agree with the Luke story. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when we read Matthew's story, let's see. Let's see. Bethlehem. When they saw, verse 11 tells us these are
Wait,
the
what
wise men.
Sorry, 2 seconds. What chapter?
Chapter 2.
Okay, chapter. And verse, you said 11?
So, yeah, verse 11 tells us where the wise men go to find Jesus. Notice what they find him inside of.
And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
So where was Jesus staying in Bethlehem according to Matthew?
And when they had come into the house, they had saw a young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they saw the treasures, you asked, what did you ask? Sorry, where they were?
Well, yeah, where did the wise men find Jesus? They found him in what? Inside of the house?
A manger.
Well, no manger. There's no manger in the Gospel of Matthew. They find him in a house. The manger is from the Gospel of Luke.
It just says the house. You do know the house can be like anyone's house, right?
Yeah, but he's not in a manger. The manger, you're conflating Luke and Matthew.
I've been a bit obtuse. But do you think it says house there, meaning his actual home?
Yeah, that's the plain meaning of the text. That when the wise men find Jesus, he's staying in a house, not in a manger in a barn.
They come into the house. It doesn't say It doesn't say the house. Home.
Well, who was staying in the house?
What does it say afterwards? They saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
But there's more to it. We'll get to why
okay, fair enough.
Why scholars do not think that, according to the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus was from Nazareth originally. I mean, why they think he was from Bethlehem in the story of Matthew. Now, what happens after the wise men leave?
Party starts, I guess. Then, you want me to read the next verse?
Well, I'll just tell you.
Okay.
The angel of the Lord appears to Joseph in a dream and tells him, take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt for Herod seeks the life of the child. So they flee to Egypt and they stay there until the death of Herod the Great. Then they return to the Holy Land, but instead of going back home to Bethlehem, it says in verse, we'll go to chapter 2, verse 21. Then Joseph got up, took the child and his mother, and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was ruling in Judea, in the place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And after being warned in a dream, he went away to the district of Galilee. There he made his home in a town called Nazareth. Literally, the Greek says that he settled in Nazareth, so that what had been spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled. He shall be called a Nazarene. So the author of Matthew portrays it as if they were going to go back home to Judea, but because Archelaus was there, they diverged and went and made their home in Nazareth.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm following along. Yep.
Yeah. So there is no circumcision of Jesus. There is, because in the story of Luke, there you go right to the temple 8 days later, and then it says right after that they went home to Nazareth. But no, in Matthew, he's in Bethlehem in a house. They go to Egypt, and then they only after that settle in Nazareth.
Flippin' heck.
Not to mention that Matthew ends with a very weird phrase that all this happened in order to fulfill what might be fulfilled by the prophet. He will be called a Nazarene. Nowhere in the Hebrew Bible.
Oh, man. You're affecting my faith, bro. Stop questioning me. I'm joking. But, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I know there's probably going to be little, for me anyway, as a Christian, it's probably little contradictions here and there, but yeah, if there was like major contradictions, I would be like, but I'm impressed that you've read into it.
Sure, major contradiction.
Well, I mean, major in terms of like faith-wise. Like if it was
theological,
if it was purposely lying about things like Jesus was gay or something like that, and the other one was like, no, he was straight. Like big things, I would be like, this is weird.
Well, what about whether or not Jesus came to abolish the law or not?
When he says, I came to abolish the law, but to fulfill it?
He said, I came not to abolish the law. But Paul says he did abolish the law.
Paul says that Jesus, can you show the verse?
Yeah, it's in the book of Ephesians.
What's the chapter?
Chapter 2. Yeah, verse 14 and 15.
This one I might have to go to scholars for, but I'm happy to go back and come back another day if I don't know the answer. See that again? Ephesians 2, what was it?
2, 14 to 15.
Thanks, man. For he himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation, having abolished in his flesh having abolished in his flesh, so that's what he's abolishing, the enmity, that is the law of commandments contained in ordinance, so as to create in himself one new man, from thus making peace.
So what's Paul's theology? That Christ abolished the law, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's how I would read it from here, yeah.
But Jesus says in Matthew 5:17, do not think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I haven't come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Verily I say to you, until heaven and earth passes away, which it hasn't, not a jot or tittle will pass from the law until all is fulfilled. Therefore, whoever breaks the least of these commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever does and teaches them, the same will be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, the wording, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely read into this I'm sure there's scholars who are 100 times smarter than me that have broken down like the meaning behind it. Because there's definitely some wording, and like you know better than me. It sounds like you know the Bible better than I do. Some things specific in the Bible are poetry. This isn't poetry, but yeah, I'd have to look at like the Aramaic meaning. But
Greek,
sorry, yeah. Interesting though. Yeah, still not going to say no to God yet, but definitely cool.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Sam, before we move on?
Yeah, you should get your life to Jesus, bro. Why'd you leave, man?
This is why.
Because of little tiny contradictions, you feel like you have to leave?
I mean, I don't think the earth is flat, but the Bible does. I think that's a pretty big downside to the Bible. It doesn't seem that the Bible doesn't look like a book written by God.
It's not. It's written by men inspired by God.
It doesn't look inspired by God.
You don't think so? In terms of like loving people and then like having to give his life and sacrifice for sins?
That's a very small part of the Bible. I mean,
that's a huge part. It's the main part.
I would say the law of Moses is a lot longer than the Gospels.
It might be longer in terms of the impact.
I mean, sure, Christianity is the bigger religion than Judaism, so it has a bigger impact. But nonetheless, the same God you worship also said, slavery, A-okay.
In the Old Testament, yeah, there's definitely things in the Old Testament I scratched my head.
New Testament too. Jesus said he came to uphold the law.
Yeah, the way I read that anyway, and this is just how I've interpreted it over the years, is like the two verses the rich man asks, what's the most important commandments to follow? And God says to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, love your people, love your neighbor as yourself.
He said what's the greatest commandments, but being the greatest commandments doesn't mean that they're the only commandments.
Sure, but I don't believe as a Christian we're under the old covenant of the 613.
That's because of Paul. That's not because of Jesus. The reason Christians believe that they're not obligated to observe the Mosaic law has nothing to do with anything Jesus taught. It has everything to do with the Apostle Paul.
You think Jesus and Paul contradict each other?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just read a prime example of it, didn't we?
That's one. Do you have other ones that are like major red flags for you?
If you would have asked Jesus what he thought about circumcision, what do you think he would have said?
I don't care about that personally. I'm talking about like more salvation issues.
Sure. If you want to enter Jesus, when the rich young man came to Jesus and said, "Good master, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" What did Jesus respond to him with?
Did you say enter heaven? He
says enter into life.
Is that the one where it says like give up everything and follow me?
That's the last thing he commands. But what is his first answer?
I forget off the top of my head. What did he say?
He says, if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. And then the rich young man says, which ones? And he starts naming off the commandments, like, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not, and he lists off all these commandments, and the guy's like, I've done all these things. And he says, okay, then also sell your possessions and come and follow me. But
You don't
it's
think
both.
Paul? Sorry to interrupt, man. My bad. You don't think Paul? You think Paul says not to follow the Ten Commandments? Is that what your point you're trying to make?
Paul says that we're no longer under the law. He might think that there's like a sort of moral conduct that one has to oblige themselves to. But if you were to ask Paul, like, by the way, the Ten Commandments aren't special. They're just 10 out of 613. And also, there are 2 different Ten Commandments in the Old Testament.
But don't the 10 pretty much sum up a lot of the 613?
I don't know which. I mean,
Does that make
I
sense?
don't know which one. I don't know which one of the commandments of the 10 Commandments you would like sum up slavery under.
I would say maybe idol worship, potentially.
Well, no, it says you're allowed to own slaves. I don't know which one of the 10 Commandments that
Well, that's what I'm
is
saying,
categorized under.
I'm saying the 10 Commandments. Why are you saying you have to then follow the other 603?
The 10 were just an introduction. They're not like more special than the rest of them.
I think they were, unless you can debunk that. I think they were. You think?
I mean,
The
the fact that there are 2 different 10 Commandments in the Old Testament would tell me that they're not that special.
Goat milk and stuff.
Yeah. Like, which one of the 10 Commandments are the most important?
I mean, for me anyway, like when Jesus came, he said he came to establish like a new covenant. So like for
New
me
covenant,
as a
but not a new law. If you read Jeremiah about the new covenant in Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 30 through 31, he says that the Torah would be written upon the hearts of man. And that doesn't negate the need to observe the Torah, because the Hebrew Bible is very clear that the laws will be kept forever.
Yeah, I think as Christians we acknowledge the Old Testament, but I think that was more written for Jews, not Gentiles.
Well, Jesus said,
You agree or
to
disagree?
obey everything.
Sorry.
I disagree. I disagree. Have you read Isaiah 56?
I have. I don't know if memorized, but you think the New Testament was written? Sorry, the Old Testament was for Gentiles.
Thus says the Lord: maintain justice.
Wait, before you read that, I just want to make
It's
sure.
for everyone.
You think
It's
the
for
Old
everyone.
Testament, but at the time,
Well,
you think it was 2 seconds? Do you think
the
the
Heb-
Old Testament was written for Gentiles?
The Hebrew Bible was primarily written to a Jewish audience, but
Right.
the
So
things
that's
contained the things contained therein are for everyone.
Well, we acknowledge
says-
as a Gentile, we acknowledge them, but a lot of that was basically for that time.
It says forever in the Hebrew Bible.
I know the word of God's forever doesn't mean it's applied to
No, the
Gentiles.
Torah. No, it says the Torah is forever. It says in the last days that the nations would go to Jerusalem and they would
No, I
celebrate.
agree for Jewish people. I agree, but not for
No.
Gentiles.
No. For Gentiles, it says that the Gentiles would gather to Jerusalem and that they would celebrate the festival of Sukkot.
Doesn't mean the Old saying that all that I agree with. What I'm saying is the Old Testament doesn't say this is all applicable to Gentiles.
No, but you don't keep the festival of Sukkot, do you?
Do you know? Do you hear what I said though? Do you agree with what I said? The Old Testament's not all applicable to the Gentiles.
Certain commandments are applicable to Jews. Some of the commandments are applicable to Gentiles.
Well, we
Some
agree
of the
then.
commandments are applicable. Well, that's
We made
the same
progress
question.
tonight. I'm
How
glad I jumped on
about
this call.
this? Well, no, this is not where you think it's going.
I like this.
For
call.
example,
We did good.
Sam, is the entirety of the Old Testament for men?
Yeah.
No, there are commandments for women that don't apply to men.
Yeah.
There are commandments for Gentiles and commandments for Jews.
Which
But the-
ones are
but the-
Gentiles and which ones are Jews?
Well, according to the Torah, if there's a Gentile living in the land of Israel, all of the laws apply to them as it would to a native born. If you want to become part of God's people and part of the covenant, you need to observe his commandments. Isaiah 56 says, my house, which is the temple, shall be called
That's
a house
for-
of prayer for all nations.
For Jewish people.
And it's also-
Again, you're talking.
All,
I think
all nations.
You are. I think you're misunderstanding some of the Bible.
No.
Some of it you know
No,
very
no, no.
well, but some of it I
No,
think you're misunderstanding.
Sam.
Application's
Sam.
key in Christianity.
No, Sam. I'm going to read the verse.
Don't you think
to
so?
It doesn't. No, listen,
Don't you think?
Sam.
But don't you think application's key?
No, Sam.
Hey, brother.
Does Isaiah say, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all Jews"?
Well, does it say not? Does it say Does it say Gentiles?
It says all nations.
All nations.
All
Yeah, talking
nations.
about the 12 tribes.
No, all nations, not all tribes.
But
Kol
you think,
Hagoyim, all
yeah,
nations.
but they're talking about that specific time period. I think you're clumping in. I think you're reading a verse and then saying, "Oh, it's for all time and for everybody." It never says that.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so does Isaiah chapter 2 say that the Gentiles would stream to Jerusalem to learn the Torah?
Wait, say the last part.
Does the book of the prophet Isaiah chapter 2 say that the nations, the Gentiles, would stream to Jerusalem so that they may learn the Torah?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that last part, but I'm not saying I know the whole Bible. I'm just saying some of what you're saying I think so.
In days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established at the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills. All the nations, not tribes,
you preaching
all
now,
the nations shall stream to it. Many people shall come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem."
I love it. That's a good verse.
But you don't think that's true. You don't think the Torah will be for all nations.
I think that's a good question. I think that verse specifically, without pulling up a scholar, is specifically for the Jewish people, in my opinion.
It says all nations. All nations.
You talk about all nations then. Okay, brother, we're doing so good. Don't crash out on me. I think
because you're just closing your ears to the words you don't like.
I think I like them. I like a lot of the Bible. Some of it.
No, you don't, or else you wouldn't ignore what it says. You wouldn't hear the word nations and go, "Well, that's talking about Israel," because that's not what the word nations means.
Well, can you elaborate? Pull up a scholar to back that up, because all you're doing is reading a couple of sentences and saying,
"Literally,
I come to my conclusion."
What does the Hebrew say, Sam? What does the Hebrew say?
Why do you always talk over
Sam?
Go ahead, brother.
Sam, if you can't take this conversation seriously, I'm going to drop you.
Has anyone told you that, police officer?
This was going so well until you decided to stop taking the Bible seriously and started inserting into the text things that aren't there and started to ignore the things that the Bible clearly say. As soon as I start pointing out to you the major theological problem with the New Testament, that the Old Testament clearly teaches the Torah would be forever, and even implies that so much of it would be applied to the nations, you decide to say, well, fuck what the Bible clearly says. I know it says nations, but nations here means not the nations. It means the Jews. In what world does the goyim, the nations, plural, refer to the Jewish people alone?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I still think without pulling up some data, not data, but like a scholar, you're just reading from your opinion. So
Rabbi Tobias Singer, Rabbi Michael Skopak, John J. Collins, Dan McClellan, Francesca Stavrakopoulos, all of these
all
people,
Christians?
What? No.
No,
well, one of them Christians,
is. So they're not biased at all.
One of them is. One of them is. One of them is. One of them is.
Of course they're going to say that.
No. Christians would be biased because, again,
yeah, I know they would be too. That's why I'm saying we just agree to disagree.
You clearly demonstrate. No, I don't do that. I don't.
Which is fine.
I don't agree to disagree on this channel when the facts do not support you, Sam.
This is I don't do that. Are you a police officer?
No, police officer.
Oh, okay. You look like a police officer. You look dialed in, brother. You dialed in?
Well, that conversation was pretty good until it wasn't. That's very disappointing. I don't know why Christians hate their Bible so much. All right, Crusader. Crusader, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yeah.
Question number 2, are you a Christian or at least a Bible believer?
Christian.
All right. Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I go whatever people want to call me.
One second. Hi, Gary. I see you in the comment section, buddy. Good to see you again. That was for a friend of mine. Anyways, what was that last thing you said about your pronouns?
Whatever
Crusader?
people want to call me, assumed.
I don't like to assume. Which ones do you prefer to go by?
That's what I'm saying. I really just like people assume it's whatever they want. It's a free world, I would say.
Would you
Like,
prefer just date?
I could be everybody if
them?
I want.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I
When
could
people
be.
talk about you in the third person, do you prefer that they call you he, him, she, her, they, them?
I would prefer them to just call me by my name, Yanni.
No, when they talk about you in the third person, Crusader. Jesus fuck.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is I don't identify as anything, so you can assume.
Yes, you do identify as something. What is your name in the third? What do they call you in the third person?
Yanni. I would hope they call me Yanni. Hey, Yanni
Yanni,
did this. Or
no,
Yanni.
when they don't want to use your name, if you can't answer this question, I'm just gonna move on.
I would wish they did use my name. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't want them to use anything else.
Fuck off, Yanni. You make me Yanni. Jesus fucking. What is so hard about a simple question about pronouns? Y'all don't believe God has a dick, yet you call him a he, him. You understand what gender is. Man. Crusader, I'll let you back up, but you better answer my question. If you don't immediately answer the question, I'm just going to drop you and you're not going to get another chance to come up.
Hello.
What are your pronouns, Crusader?
I would like, when people are talking about me, I would like them to refer to me as her.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Anyways, also someone in the comment section said you're rude. You misspelled that. It's YOU''RE. God is the title. Do you understand how many gods there are? What God are you talking about? Generally, in this conversation, we're talking about Yahweh. But also, God wasn't just a title; it's also a proper noun. The name El was the proper noun, the proper name for the Canaanite deity. Aaron Roberts, it would actually be YHWH, not YHWY. But you were close. Why did El become Yahweh? Basically, there was a cult centered around Yahweh and a cult centered around El, and it was Yahweh that ended up winning out in the end. The cult that loved Yahweh won out, and Yahweh was conflated into El. Oh, man. Aaron Roberts says, I grew up JW. Hey, Aaron, I'm so glad that you got out of that cult. Good for you. You know what? You know what? Fine, I'll let you come up, Crusader. But we'll just call you she, her, like you said. I doubt that you actually go by those pronouns because you seem like the kind of person who would be very much against that sort of thing, based off the dialect you've given us. So, Crusader, I'm the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay, so do you believe people aren't perfect and we make mistakes?
Yep.
Do forgiving others bring peace and not bitterness?
Depends.
Okay, treating others the way you want to be treated?
Generally, yeah.
Love is more powerful than hate?
It can be.
Okay. Money and success can't satisfy the heart?
No, I don't think that's true.
Okay, good. Pride leads to problems. Humanity brings peace.
Pride leads to problems. Depends on what you're proud of.
Right, so
humanity brings peace. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
helping others is better than living selfishly.
Sure.
Justice matters, but so does mercy.
Sure. This, by the
Real.
way, Crusader, before you just continue asking me 20 questions.
Oh, I was done. One more and I was
No,
done.
none of the. Okay, sure, ask one more.
Okay. Real strength is shown through kindness and patience.
It can be
So
sometimes,
so
but
you agree to more of all of them, and this teaches in the Bible. So there you go. If you already believe
sure,
them to be true, then there you
Crusader.
go.
If I find a piece of corn and a pile of shit, I'm not going to eat the pile of shit. Sure, there are some good nuggets in the Bible, but also a lot of shit I would not want on my plate.
But 9 out of 10 that I asked, which is all the pretty much morals that the Bible teaches, 9 out of 10 you agree. So I would say
No.
that's why.
No, I'm very much against treating women like property and against slavery, which is a big part of the Hebrew Bible, at least.
Yeah, but the moral, the main ones, 1 through 10, I just read you, is the main ones in the Bible, and you agree to
No,
all
I
of them.
wouldn't.
So I'm just gonna politely leave.
They're
But you
no,
agree.
no, Crusader. Your God. No, okay, he's a coward. That's fantastic. I mean, you basically named off a bunch of principles which are not unique to the Bible and existed in other religions everywhere. So congratulations. The best thing that you've shown me is that the Bible can sometimes be right, but that doesn't mean Jesus is the Messiah or the Son of God. And that was the weakest W I've probably ever seen. I knew he had nothing to offer for the conversation, though. Let's see, which version of the Bible do I read? Like in English? When I read it in English, I usually read the New Revised Standard Version, Updated Edition. But it has a lot of words, though. It does have a lot of words. Let's see. Man, I would love to get a guest in here who's not a complete lunatic. That'd be fantastic. Let's see. Now, the Buddhist holy text, I think, might actually have more words in it than the Bible. Yes, that is correct. This chapter just said NRSVUE is the scholarly standard in English. Sir Gamelot said, "You defeated the Holy Spirit every day." I just have a question and want to know, have you read the Bible? They don't call me the Bible guy for no reason. What's the most absurd thing in the Bible for you? The most absurd thing? Probably it's cosmology and creation story. Sir Gamelot, thank you for the cowboy hat. Yeehaw! I answered your question. You just don't like my answer because it doesn't align with what you want. Can't see your hearing. I didn't see your answer. Let's see. And it's super old. Yep, super old. All other gods are dead like Buddha, but Jesus never died. Like, that's not even correct according to the Bible. Like, Alyssa, you have read the Gospels, right? Jesus did die in the Gospels. He just came back to life. Magnified, does you have a Cash App? I do. It's in my link tree on my page. Anyways, Jesus, according to the Gospels, did die. He just came back to life. But I don't think he came back to life. I think Jesus is a worm food. Yeah, Darwin, Zipporah and the circumcision incident is also really weird. Sunny, correct. If Jesus existed, he is kaputs. From your perspective of it, what do you think about it? The Bible? A bunch of old stories, myths. How can anyone read the Bible and not see how monumentally fucked up that is? Because they read it with Jesus-colored glasses. Can you explain Jewish perspective on what? Do you do like meta-analysis debates? I had a question that the U.S. believed in slavery. Is the U.S. good? I don't normally do. I just talk about the Bible. Let's see. What's the most asinine apologetic you've ever heard. Ugh. When I ask people, why should I believe in the Bible? They go, well, what year do we live in? Because they think that the fact that the calendar happens to revolve around Christianity means that Christianity is true. That's probably the most worst argument ever. Anything from Darth Dawkins? I mean, Darth Dawkins is just a little bitch. All he does is he tries to, even if it's not in his own life, he'll go in there and try to dictate the conversation, and when he doesn't get his way, he just bitches and moans like a petulant child, which is, I called him out on it, and he hates me. Hosea 2:17 literally proves pale men who rewrote the Bible erased true names. But it sounds like a conspiracy theory. Let's see. For I will remove the names of Baals from their mouths, and they shall be mentioned by my name no more. That doesn't say anything about pale complected people. That has nothing to do with anything. What does it mean to believe in the Bible to you? It means to accept its propositions as being true. Chapter says Darth Dawkins and Q-Top are the worst. Q-Top is insufferable. The fact that he has any followers is mind-boggling to me. If Genesis isn't literal, then the doctrine of original sin, the need for salvation, Paul's reference to Adam in the New Testament, it loses their foundation. This is true. Can you tell me what people say Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, but she actually wasn't? Please. I mean, yeah, that claim was made by a pope. But the Bible never says that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Anything to put down one of Jesus' female followers, you know? Let's see. Let's see. Must have been divine revelation. It's Game a lot. He had over 1 million, and after his child marriage, claimed it dropped, but not far enough. Digital Oil Hunter says the Bible is a collection of books, so not sure it proposed itself to be true unless you mean counsel. Yeah, I mean the Bible as a whole never claims to be anything like what Christians claim it to be. Inspired, all that nonsense. Sonny says P. Mars is the worst. He's a P3DO, pedo, and racist. Please don't ever platform him. Oh, I wouldn't. He's also a presuppositionalist, and I just don't platform presuppositionalist apologetics. It's a huge waste of everyone's time. Oh, is Kieran bitching about pronouns, Katie and Dirtbag? Here. I need something to talk about. Let's see. When I got older and realized the truth, it made me so sad that they threw those titles on her. Yeah. Do you think there is anything positive about the Bible? Sure, there's a few good things in it. Not a lot, though. Aaron Robert, phone died. Have you answered my question? What was your question, Aaron? Peace said, why would I trust anything you say? Don't. Go and actually do the homework. Don't just believe what I say. Don't just believe what your pastor says or your favorite theologian. Go and look at the primary sources. Why do you think JW is a cult? Oh, because they meet the criterion for adult, the control, the secrecy. There is actually an official what's it called? I can't. It's been so long since I've even talked about the concept of what is and isn't a cult. I would suggest going to look at Telltale, Telltale on YouTube. He's an ex-Jovi, and he goes into detail on the framework for what is and isn't a cult. None of it is true that you're saying. Aaron, if you... It is. The Jovies are a cult. I mean, fuck, they won't even let you get blood transfers. For some ridiculous-ass reason. Robert, are you the one who's always on DZ's debates lives? Are you the Rob that he says is a waste of space? At any point you feel you are better than anyone, you are part of the whole problem. Diki, preach. Do you believe in yourself? Sometimes I don't. Howdy, Danny. Do you know they don't accept blood? Yeah, they won't do the blood transfers because of some like really stupid reading of the Old Testament. Dalton, we will have to go over Psalms 110. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting psalm for King David. Do you know why? Oh, it's because of it's about the prohibition against the consuming of blood. And they think that this applies to blood transfusions. I feel you, bro. Selling us the blood while bleeding us. Woo! Killer line. The Bible is the only text that makes the claim that it's from God. No other text. My dude. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Oh, God. Fuck me. Oh, the Bible is the only text that claims that it's from God. My dude. Have you ever heard of the fucking Quran before? This book literally claims to be from God. It claims to be a message from Allah through the angel Jibreel to the Prophet Muhammad. Your Bible is not the only book claiming to be from God. That was one of the silliest things I've heard today. Hey, I got a friend coming up.
Hey Dalton, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what's up, Chapter?
Yeah, just wanted to show you my copy of the Quran that my dad found randomly.
Oh, really?
It's a good copy. Yeah, here we go. What do you think?
Here, let me expand your... Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
that's a... Say what
it's
you
a
want
trunca.
say what you want about the Quran, and all of its flaws, but the art is very beautiful, and the calligraphy is also very beautiful.
It's in Farsi, Arabic, of course, and English. He was gonna donate it to the local, they call it Mushrad mosque.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, please give it to me.
Fun fact for everyone
And
listening. So Iran, the language spoken in Iran is Farsi. Farsi
yes,
just means Persian.
yes,
Because the
exactly.
land of Iran used to be Persia. For
Yeah,
anyone
my
who wasn't
uncle,
familiar.
my uncle was from there. I've got students from there. I've got Muslim students. As you know, I work at a Christian university. But yeah, we got students
Yeah.
from all over, and it's always fascinating to talk to them about this stuff and try and instill critical thinking and plain reading of texts and things like that. But yeah, it is still beautiful.
You know what one of my favorite Quranic contradictions is? It's one that I was reading the Surah Miriam, and I came across
Surah
this
Miriam?
line that said that Miriam's brother was Harun, Aaron, and I stopped, and I was like, "There's no fucking way." So for everyone who doesn't know, in the Bible, Jesus' mother's name is Mary. Mary is just the English form of the name Miriam in Hebrew. So
Miriam.
Jesus' mother's name was actually Miriam, or Miriam in Arabic. And that is also the name of the sister of Aaron and Moses in the Old Testament. The author of the Quran, probably from hearing Christians and Jews talk about the Bible, heard the name Miriam as being the sister of Aaron, and heard the name Miriam as being mother of Jesus, and thought they were the same person.
Yeah. Would you agree with me that I think the Quran is based on a lot of apocryphal texts and oral traditions that were not included in the Bible, or sometimes not even in the Hebrew Bible?
Yeah, isn't the case that the Quran has Jesus performing the miracle where he takes the clay and brings it to life?
Oh, shapes a bird, makes it into a bird. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
from an apocryphal Gnostic text. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
The author.
Yeah.
It's obvious that what's happening is not that the author is meticulously going through like all these manuscripts and concocting the Quran. What he's doing is he probably lived in an area where there were lots of Arabs and Christians and Jews in the marketplace
Correct.
who would tell their stories, and you would have all kinds of different Christians, including people who believed in the Gospel of Thomas. And he heard all these stories and used it to concoct his message.
100%. Absolutely. Okay, I got to
Or-
jump.
Yeah. My other theory is that he just went.
I'll drop down. You
Absolutely.
can talk. Keep talking.
Good
Have a
talking
good
to
one,
you.
man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Or the author went absolutely fucking nuts, which is why he had visions of an angel, and he incorporated all the stories that he heard subconsciously or consciously into the vision. Show me where in the crime that it claims to be inspired by God. I think he meant Quran. Let's see. All right, let's see. Surah 619. This Quran has been revealed to me that I may warn you thereby and whoever it reaches. Surah 1037. This Quran could not have been produced by anyone other than Allah, God. So there you go. Surah 1037. So yes, the Quran also makes the same claim that the Bible makes. The Bible is not unique. Oh man, of course, it's always a conspiracy with you. What conspiracy? It's not a conspiracy. It's a naturalistic explanation, which is far more likely than that someone had a divinely inspired revelation. Doug the Rock said, "You are unique." Thank you, Doug. May your rocky hardness be forevermore. Yeah, Robert. Christianity is no conspiracy theory. It's just that naturalistic explanations are far more likely than supernatural ones. Always rock hard for you. Thank you, Doug. And don't forget, everybody, just in case you forgot, tomorrow, Justin Deconstruction will be going live from 5 p.m. Central Time to probably around 11:30ish Central Time. And I will be on the panel with him. Chandler says Jesus loves you. No, he doesn't. Because Jesus is dead. Corpses don't love people. Fun fact. W Bible Guy. Thank you, Doug. Bo Lamb says, it's prove itself. It prove itself. It doesn't. The Bible disproves itself, actually, on several occasions. I hate when Christianity says that. They think they are morally superior. Yeah. JA Debates says, spam the likes, follow the host, share the live. You heard JA Debates, do the thing. Julie, do the thing. Chandler says Jesus defeated death, blah, 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 blah. You can't prove that. Guys, I'm about to start reading this, doing some deep research on this thick-ass book called On the Historicity of Jesus by Dr. Richard Carrier to see whether or not he can convince me of the mythicist position once and for all. If so, if I get convinced of it, but by the way, I won't be revealing my official stance on this book for another 6 months. But if I'm able to be convinced by Dr. Carey's position, then I'll start hosting lives where we talk about why Jesus didn't exist. If I'm convinced by his position. Sir Game-A-Lot, it's a big old book. Are you a permanent co-host with Justin now, like Hanji was? I mean, I kind of just inserted myself into his life. It's not like I'm scheduled around the clock. I just show up. Which is lucky for me because it also led to me being on the Unapologetic show today. They say dress for the job you want. No, I say force yourself into the job you want. Doug says I'm not mad at it. Jay says you are just doing this for the money. Yes, I've made $4 this week on doing this. Yeah, I'm totally raking in the cash. I make more money as a preacher, but I'm not that dishonest. You were great on Unapologetic. Guys, I really only talked one caller on the Unapologetic show, and I was pretty silent for the rest of it, so I don't know. I think I did okay, I guess. Justin is like the Michael Jordan of atheist debaters. I agree. J.A. says, they act like all deconstructionists are getting paid thousands. I wish that was the case. Yes, but you did really good with the caller. Thank you so much, Doug the Bug. Let's see. Tiffany says, but seek and ye shall receive your truth. I did seek, which is why I'm an atheist. There's that. That's typical, though. Ian/Blitz attract a lot of science Bill Bro callers. Yeah, I mean, I figured that would be happening. So I figured, Justin kind of warned me in advance, hey, you're probably going to get, 1 or 2 people that you talk to. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine with that because I was super nervous about being on the show. So it worked out, honestly. And I got to make a lot of jokes behind the scenes on the server. You're only an atheist because you don't know who God is. He tells you who he is and who he is not. David, I'm an atheist because I read the Bible. Hey Dalton, hope you're well. Have you seen Daniel is wearing tonight? Hilarious. Daniel Green? Is that who we're talking about? I could not tell you were nervous for real. What does the Bible say? Even the fool sounds wise when he says very little. I said very little. Oh, is Daniel wearing something funny tonight, Peacemaker? Here, let me take a look. Where's his live at? I'm not following him on my backup account. 1 second. Daniel Green. Follow. Take a look. What the hell? That's funny. Love the glasses. Let's see. Daniel Green is great. I want to meet up with him when I'm in his part of Australia. That'd be great. Reading the Bible and understanding it are two different things. Robert, I guarantee you I understand the Bible better than you do. Don't call me the Bible guy for nothing. Where's the dog? She's in the other room, sleeping. Fett is correct. He said. Fett says no. I agree that Paul claimed that 500 people saw him, Jesus, but provides zero evidence. Yeah, Paul provides zero evidence for that claim. Robert, you're more than welcome to come up here so I can cook you on the Bible. I'd love to do that. Robert, if you could provide me with a verse, with a passage of the Hebrew Bible, a prophecy that Jesus actually fulfilled, I would be ecstatic. Ghost of Cody says, what's your favorite movie? What's my favorite movie? That's a hard one. One of my top favorite movies, I don't know if it's my favorite, but one of my top favorite movies is the movie About Time with Rachel McAdams in it. Robert, I said come up, not whine in the comment section and make claims. I'm not going to address anything you say in the comment section, Robert. If you want to talk to me, you're going to have to come up and talk to me yourself. About Time is great. Yes, it is great. It's a fantastic sci-fi romance. I'm a sucker for a good romance. Let's see. I'm about to rewatch. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to rewatch Doctor Who or Rick and Morty. Do you remember me, Universe Juice? Your profile picture does look familiar. It's been so long since. I'm sorry, Universe Juice. It's been over 9 months since we probably talked because I went dark for like 9 months. So, but your username does look familiar, and so does your profile picture. So, why not both? That's a good point, Chapter. Why not both? Oh, Morty. I need you to put this fruit up your butthole, Morty. Oh man, look at this, guys. I love this. This is typical Christian love. Josiah says, "Would you like to be tormented for eternity?" Yeah, no, I'm good. Josiah, unless you can prove to me that hell exists, I'm not all that interested. You can't. You're like that's coercion. And I don't take kindly to threats. They don't really work on me. But nice try, buddy. At least it didn't believe, little bro, or just die and find out. I wouldn't want to go to hell because I wouldn't want to spend eternity with Charlie Kirk. Let's see. You have free will, little bro. I don't have free will. Doesn't exist. Taylor says, I don't believe in talking down on people who don't believe in Christ. Oh, that's fantastic. A majority of Christians on this app do. Shiny Neil says, yes, the Christian love of sending death threats to non-believers. Yeah, like literally, what makes you different than any Islamic fundamentalists sending me death threats if you're just claiming I'm going to burn in hell? It's a Hebrew translation of Sheol, which means resting place. Yeah, Sheol was not really hell as Christians understand it. It was more of a bleak and dreary afterlife, depending on which parts of the Bible you're reading, because the Bible isn't univocal when it comes to the afterlife. Ooh, I have a guest. Fantastic. We have here Caden Stone. Caden, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I asked these 3 questions to all my guests prior to the conversation, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes, sir. I'm 21.
Question number 2, are you a Christian or at least a Bible believer?
I am a Christian.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
Fantastic. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Okay. Well, I'm going to come at this with you've probably heard this approach. I haven't been in here super long. I apologize for not sitting in for longer. I just,
You're fine.
had this. So my thing is, you have nothing to lose if you believe in it.
That's not true.
Well, let me finish.
My Sunday mornings.
No. See, the thing is, everybody believes in religion, and that's what I don't believe in religion. I believe in following Christ and his example.
That's a religion. So I define religion as the worship of a deity or a god.
Okay.
If you worship God, that's a religion.
I understand that. But whenever okay, let me see how to word this a little bit better. Whenever I say that I don't like there's denominations for everything, and they all believe separate things, right? And your comment said that following God is religion by definition, which is true. So I guess I can recant my point, and I'll apologize for that wrong point. But my thing is, if you believe in God, what do you have to lose? Because if you don't believe in God,
Yeah, my critical thinking skills.
Okay, how do you lose your critical thinking skills? Can you explain that?
Because the only way to believe in the things of the Bible is to ignore all the evidence and data in opposition to it.
Okay, if that's true, can you explain how we are the only life on any actual planet, only established
of.
life forms that we know of on any planet that we can see, and we can see a multitude of planets, correct?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, not in a lot of detail.
Okay, so it would be easier
By
for
the
me.
way, this is not a good argument, by the way, because it's kind of like taking a glass of water, a glass, dipping it in the ocean, going, "Yep, no whales." Like we barely looked at the universe.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, here I'll approach this at a better way, and if I can't get my point across with this next argument, I'll stop because obviously I'm not really good at this. I just believe in my heart that it's my job to at least try to spread the gospel at least a little bit. And I understand that you're not very much receiving of it, but I still believe that it's my job. So, what do you believe? If you don't believe in the Bible, what do you believe in? So, do you believe in evolution? Do you believe in what do you believe in?
I believe in anything which is demonstrable.
Can you explain that a little bit better?
Demonstrable just means like you're able to demonstrate it to be true.
Okay, so what would that be for you?
In regards to what? I believe in a lot of things.
You believe created us.
I don't think it's a who.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking. I'm asking.
I think that what formed us, not created us, but what formed us, was a very long and natural, evolution.
Okay, so you believe in evolution.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain to me
Oh
how.
boy.
Explain to me how, because evolution also follows the Big Bang, correct? Because that's where everything would have started. Would be the Big Bang that would have thrown
Yeah.
everything. Okay, so where do you?
The Big Bang isn't the beginning.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Is that what you believe in? Is the Big Bang that created the universe?
No, because the Big Bang is not the creation of the universe. That's not what it is. I believe in the Big Bang, but that's not what the Big Bang is.
Okay, so that's what I've.
The Big Bang is just stating that at one point the entire universe was very constricted in a very tight space, and then it began to rapidly expand. It doesn't teach that it came from nothing, or that it came from anywhere. As far as I understand, the universe has always existed in one form or another.
Okay, but how can you that just doesn't make any sense as to the harmony of life itself. And then if you also look at the Bible,
What do you mean? Hello? Caden, if you leave the screen, I won't be able to hear you.
oh, sorry, I apologize. I mean, if we are the only life that is viable on any planet that we've seen so far, the
That we
chances,
know of.
yes,
The chances are 100%.
that you said the chances are 100% of what? You just kind of threw 100% out.
That this would happen. Because, and let me explain why. Let me use an analogy to help you understand. If you had an infinite number of monkeys banging on a keyboard, basically you have an infinite number of combinations of possible things that could accidentally bang out. Would one of them eventually write out Shakespeare's Hamlet?
No, well, no. But
Yes.
there's an infinite possibilities. Yes. So, technically, yes. Okay.
So if the universe is infinitely old, has always existed, we've had an infinite number of chances. Eventually, you would get this, correct?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, here, you said your question is why should I believe in the Bible? Okay. Here's my one argument to that, and then I'll shut up. 40 people over 3 continents, 3 different languages. Okay. Then what am I wrong about?
We don't know the number of authors for the Bible. We don't know who wrote the Psalms. As far as we know, there could be 150 authors just for the Psalms.
Okay. Regardless of the number, over I think it was 1,500 to 1,600 years. That's what I was trying to look up to the people saying that I was in ChatGPT. I was trying to look up the exact number because I didn't want to just falsify numbers at a random. But I'm almost certain it's 1,500 to 1,600 years in that area. over 3 different continents, over 3 different languages, and all of them had a unity of thought that God is no. Listen, the unity of thought is that God is Lord. That is the unity of thought throughout the Bible.
Well, sure, that's very vague though. God is Lord is a very vague statement, but they don't agree on like the nature of God.
No, I mean, if you're talking New Testament versus Old Testament, what are you talking about?
No, just in the Old Testament alone, the authors of the New Testament can't agree whether or not God can even, like, for example, can God change his mind?
Well, okay. So I guess I need to study more on my Bible before I hop into these kind of
Do you have
things.
do you have a Bible on you?
I do. Well, it's an app right
Can you-
now.
Oh, here. Let me just read to you these passages then. Here, I got Numbers chapter 23, verse 19. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to ask you questions about the verse. And then I'm going to read you another verse and ask you questions about it. Okay. Chapter 23, verse 19 says,
What book?
God, Numbers.
Okay.
God is not a human being that he should lie, or a mortal that he should change his mind. Has he promised, and will he not do it? Has he spoken, and will he not fulfill it? So what does this verse say about God being able to change his mind?
Well, I think it's more along the lines of a question. They're questioning what can he do and what can he not do. But as a human, I feel like that's a very common thing.
Yeah, so it says that he's not a human, that he should change his mind. In other
No.
words, humans change their minds, but God's not human, therefore God doesn't change his mind.
Well, I
Right?
feel as a divine being, he doesn't really have much room to change his mind with us because he gave us free will. I feel like that's a kind of a limitation as to.
Free will is not in the Bible, but we'll ignore that for a second. The text says that God is not a human being that he should change his mind, correct?
Yes.
All right, so God doesn't change his mind.
Yes.
Now, are you familiar with the story of the golden calf?
I'm not.
You don't know the story of the golden calf where Moses was up on the mountain
Oh yes.
and
yes,
all the
okay.
all the Israelites get kind of
Yes.
like they get antsy and they build a golden calf. And then do you remember what God was going to do to the Israelites?
I don't remember exactly.
He was going to wipe them out and destroy them and start all over with Moses.
I thought it
But
was
then
smite.
Moses,
Yeah.
he was going to wipe them out and start over with Moses. But Moses begged and pleaded with God not to do it. And the verse says in Exodus chapter 32, verse 14, and the Lord changed his mind about the disaster that he planned to bring on his people.
I can see that, and my argument to that would be that was a test for Moses himself, as Moses was constantly being tested by God throughout his entire life.
So the Bible lied then, that God didn't actually change his mind.
I don't think it was a change his mind. I think that was what the writers interpreted as changing his mind.
Not interpret it, that's just what the Hebrew says. It says that God changed his mind.
Well,
Was the
yeah,
author wrong?
I'm not well equipped enough to answer that question.
All right. What about let's think of another. What's another good sort of contradiction? Okay, is God all knowing?
Yes, he's an all-knowing and all-powerful being. Yes.
Are you familiar with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yes.
And you're familiar with God's conversation with Abraham prior to this?
Yes. Well, it depends which one. There's quite a few.
So 3 men appear before Abraham,
Okay.
and then Abraham eats with them, and then as they're going about, God tells Abraham that he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, and he tells
this
them
is what
to walk away and look away.
Yeah. Genesis 18, verse 20 says, then the Lord said, how great is the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah, and how very grave their sin. I must go down and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry that has come to me, and if not, I will know.
Yeah.
Which tells me 2 things about Yahweh. 1, he doesn't know, so he has to travel to Sodom and Gomorrah to find out. And 2, he's also not omnipresent because he has to, again, travel to Sodom and Gomorrah to find out.
Yeah, I guess people always put that the whole God's always with you as he's omnipresent or whatever. But if that was true, he wouldn't have to send messengers to speak to people. He wouldn't have to do all of that. So I don't necessarily believe that he's omnipresent. I do believe that he's all powerful and all knowing. And I'll explain that. I'll explain that by this.
Well, he's not all knowing. That verse already disproves that he's all knowing because he doesn't know if the outcry that has come to him is as bad as he's heard. That's why he has to travel to Sodom and Gomorrah in order to find out.
That's fair. I'll give you that. But I'll raise you the question of you argued free will earlier. I would say that
Yeah, it's not in the Bible.
I would say that he knew. Well, that's it. It kind of is in the Bible because after Adam and Eve ate the apple, that was kind of his punishment, was to send them out there with what they knew. They got free will from the apple. That was kind of the whole point. They were.
The Bible never says that.
But that I fear it's common sense, though. I apologize.
No. Just because something's common sense doesn't mean it might be common, but doesn't mean it's sensical. First and foremost, no apple is mentioned in the story of.
It's the fruit. Yes, I just used the apple because that is the most common.
And all that we get from the story of the fall of man is one that Adam and Eve sinned, and they are no longer allowed to eat the fruit from the knowledge of the fruit from the knowledge of the good and evil. That's forbidden to them.
Yes.
So they can't have immortality. They have to work the ground in order to bring forth food for them, and women would have more pain in childbirth. And also, there's a contentious relationship between serpents and humans, and that's all that Genesis 3 tells us.
Okay,
nothing about free will.
My argument to that would be when they ate the apple and they had the knowledge that they learned, and they learned that they were naked, and they learned all of this knowledge, they gained free will, and that is when they started to hide from God and they stopped listening to God, because before they ate the fruit, they were completely obedient, or at least Adam was completely obedient before Eve fell to the snake.
Where does it say anything about free will in the text?
It doesn't say free will directly, but they
here's
showed
the thing,
free
Caden.
will. They showed.
If you want me, Caden, if you want me to believe something in the Bible, you need to show it to me in the Bible. I'm not going to just
So would you take
insert something into the text that's not there.
Okay, so
By the way, what do you think free will exactly is?
The choice between good and evil. The choice.
That's not free will.
Okay, then what is it?
Free will is the ability to make choices independent of an underlying cause. As in, they're spontaneous choices that have nothing that preempts them.
So you can't have anything behind it to help you choose.
Yeah, as long as there's a underlying cause for any choice you make, then it's not free. It's not a free choice. It's a determined choice, determined by some underlying cause.
Okay. Well, here I will do this because I see you've added somebody else. I will study more on my Bible.
Oh, she's a friend. She's a friend.
Oh, okay. Well, do you do these lives often?
Every other day.
Okay. I'm gonna study on my Bible a little bit, and I'll come back with a better argument to try and sway you. I hopped in here unprepared, and I'll admit that. I'll admit that I did not come in here with any information or any notes or anything to try and persuade you. My original argument I thought was a catch-all, and it was not. So I will admit defeat. I do believe that you should believe in the Bible, and I will pray for you, and I hope that you have a great night.
All right, Caden, and I will think for you, buddy. You have a good night. Ashlyn?
I'm so done with today. Someone took a dump on our floor and then threw up in our bathroom. Or I'm in so much pain right now.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Send Ashlyn some gifts. Because it sounds like she's had quite literally a shitty day.
Yeah, there's a football game near me. Oh. And I work close to it, so. And then I couldn't play for like 6 hours. Because, like, I don't know why we don't not have people, like, you have to buy something rule, but we don't.
Well, sounds like you had a fun day. I was on a call-in show today, and
no, you did amazing. You did amazing. Yeah, I sent you that. Unfortunately, at the end of it, I had to talking, but you did
That's
so
fine.
well.
I only talked with one guest and pretty much stayed silent for the rest of it. I was mostly there for window decoration.
No, you weren't. You did really, really well. Oh my god, Elias is massaging my feet right now. I didn't even ask him if he
Good,
just walks up to me and does it.
good on
So
him.
my feet
That's
hurt
that's
so bad.
that's what you do, my dude. This is our place.
I have
No,
arch strain and plantar fasciitis, so I feel like, I mean, I'm in like awful pain, like awful pain.
let's see. I've got 84 people in right here, over here, in all this space.
Thank you,
So
Doug.
some of you must be Christian. If you'd like to come up to me and give me a reason to believe in the Bible, I'd love to hear it. By the way, Ashley, how's my mic sound?
Hold on, let me turn my volume up a little bit more. Do a test.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, it's definitely not a professional sound, but it sounds like you're on your phone.
Ken says, why did the live end so abruptly? When? Like my previous live, before this live? Because I was hungry and I needed to leave because I was getting aggravated with guests. Also, I wasn't getting a lot of guests, so I sort of just ended the live. Dalton was a what the hell? Dalton was a phenomenon on UA was awesome. I think you meant phenomenal. Dalton was phenomenal. And I appreciate that. Doug says Mike sounds shit. Unapologetic. Yes, of course you were hungry. Said 4-cylinder. I mean, I think that's just a jab at me being fat 4-cylinder. But guess what? You're not the first person to say that to me today. And I also don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah,
Because
okay.
I'd rather be
That's
fat
why
and smart.
it sounds like you're far away a little bit.
No, I'd rather be. One second. I'd rather be fat and smart than skinny and stupid. Just saying.
That made Elias laugh.
Smart but can't read phenomenal because it wasn't written correctly for Cylinder. It just wasn't written correctly, that's why. Ah, man. He was saying a phenom. What's a phenom? Let's see. Jenny says, boom. Howdy, Jenny. And yes, that was a mic drop. Convinces us the Bible isn't real. Come on now. I never said the Bible isn't real. Look, I've got one right here. The content just isn't accurate. A phenom is someone who is phenomenal. Oh, thank you. All right. Yeah, there you go. Just shorthand for phenomenal. That's fantastic. 4-cylinder convinces then. You're more than welcome to call up for 4-cylinder. You are perfect just Asylum are. I think you meant just as you are. Just the way you are. When Christians say prove George Washington exists, I know it's always super cringy when they ask me to prove George Washington exists. Like we have like 100 times more evidence for George Washington than Jesus of Nazareth. Listen, 4-cylinder, I'm not going to respond to any of your points unless you come up and talk to me. It's as simple as. In fact, here, since you want to run your mouth, I'll mute you, and the only way you'll be able to talk is if you come up and talk to me. See, that's how this goes. I am the dictator. Ashlyn, what do you call a potato's penis? Ashlyn?
Yeah, sorry, what?
What do you call a potato's penis?
Trump.
An eye of. Did you say Trump?
Yeah.
The eye of a potato.
Actually, Elias wasn't far off. It's dictator. I'm glad you like that.
You love that smart to be a dictator. That's the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. So glad you are on YouTube and TikTok. Love your content. It's great to watch you and not just as a guest. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really need to get on to making more YouTube content. I want to make YouTube not just a place where I put my debates up, but a place where I'll make personal videos like on topics. The problem is doing personal videos on topics is kind of hard when everyone else has covered all the good stuff. But we'll see what I do. Because you're afraid of the truth, said Dark Energy. No, I love the truth, which is why I don't believe in this. But Dark Energy, you're more than welcome to come up and prove to me that it is true. But I don't think you'd be able to. Let's see. If only a Christian who knew the Bible would emerge and convert us. If only. Robert says, your loss, my gain. I mean, Robert, you can't prove to me that I'm losing anything. That's the problem. Like, Robert, I want you to imagine a Muslim using the same arguments on you. Would you be convinced? Probably not.
But it's their Jesus.
But it's their what?
Their Jesus. I have to pee now, and I don't want to use my feet. I might crawl to the bathroom.
Oh, I was like to say, how do you pee from your feet?
No, my feet hurt so bad. Literally, I have knots in my feet. How do you get knots in your feet?
I don't know. Well, Robert said Muhammad did not die for mankind. Neither did Jesus.
Wait, I need a Christian to come up here to tell me exactly why God would make it this way, that I would suffer like this. I need y'all to explain this.
To build moral character. Or whatever they say. Robert, you can't prove that Jesus died for my sins, so like that's just a claim. Oh, I have a guest. Oh, it's Doug. Doug Debug.
Doug. Sorry, I'm being a little crazy tonight. I'm a little loopy.
What's new?
Okay, wait. I'm not normally like this.
It's loud.
Shots fired.
Okay, how loud is it?
Hey, Doug, what's up?
How loud is it where I'm at?
Ooh, it sounds like. Are you in a club or something?
Well, okay, listen, real quick. Actually, Jesus loves you.
Jesus can go F himself.
Just kidding.
Oh my gosh,
fuck Jesus, fuck God, fuck everybody tonight.
Oh, you should have seen Ashlyn. I had someone come. I had a guy come up here and started bitching and whining about the fact that I'm an ex-Christian and that I was wrong then. So what makes me think I'm right now? And making a whole meta commentary on my past religious experiences, and I'm just over here like, dude, who gives a shit? He didn't have a good argument, so of course he had to run to that.
Wait. He was mad because you were a Christian who became an atheist?
Yeah, he was trying to use that as a way of proving that, like, I was wrong then, so... Yeah, I don't know. It was some bullshit argument. God, Christ, Crees, Messiah says, Matthew 10:33, I'm Christ, whoever denied me before God, I'll deny you too on heaven. Yeah, I mean, I deny Jesus as the Messiah. Clearly, he didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
Okay, Christians, come up, and I'm gonna need you to make your God make my feet feel better. And if that happens, I'll be a Christian. Y'all got a deal here?
Here, stop spamming Bible verses. No one gives a shit. Let's see. Oh, you're good, Doug. Here, I don't care about you just spamming Bible verses. You either know how to have a conversation or you don't. Boop. You just got booped. Art says Christians barely believe in their own book, but want to convince you that it's the way. It's true. That's accurate. Robert says, I'm a Christian and my feet feel well, lol. Well, maybe you should get off your ass. Alright.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, we have left is right. Left is right. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old or older?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Christian or a Bible believer?
A and B.
All right, and question number 3, what are your pronouns?
Just is. Or he, him. He, him.
There you go. I'm Dalton the Bible guy.
I tried to add my own little flavor to it.
Yeah. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Now, I will give you a direct answer if you don't like my response to this, but can I answer your question with another question?
Sure, I'll entertain it.
Why shouldn't you believe in the Bible, or why shouldn't I believe in the Bible?
Because it's not true.
And what does believing something that's not true, how is that detrimental to me?
Yeah, I waste my Sunday mornings going to worship a God that doesn't exist. I'd be tithing and offering money to a church where I could save that money for myself.
So you believe that by not believing true things, by believing falsehoods, you live an unhappier life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely be unhappier if I was Christian. I would become a dick if I actually acted the way a lot of Christians on here act. Become bigoted, homophobic, transphobic. I don't think that those are positive qualities.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But why should I believe in the Bible, me personally, or am I talking to you?
Me. Yeah, it's why should I believe in the Bible? Why should the Bible guy believe in the Bible?
Because it's full of contradictions. And you know what the best exercise for a mental health and happier life is? Rectifying contradictions.
That is not true. That is
it's like a puzzle. It's a puzzle book.
It's not even on the list of healthy things.
The Bible is a puzzle book.
No. Nope.
God's a troll?
Don't make mental health claims that you don't know.
He how is he supposed to reach every single individual when we're all so unique? He has to speak at a level that is that everybody understands.
Sure,
you know what
but
I mean?
he could not lie to me. That would be great. I don't have any reason. If the Bible isn't obviously true, then I'm not going to believe in it.
Okay.
Left is right. I'm certainly, as a woman, not going to believe in it. Because, every other turn, it wants to stone me to death for something that I didn't even do.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it. Another way is they were carrying the tabernacle. One guy stumbled, barely touched the tabernacle, got struck to death. It's like, really?
Ark.
The Ark, whatever. Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah,
that's having it hard.
Move.
Women were probably
Why
just
would I wanna believe in
the back, walking behind all the men carrying the Ark of the Covenant.
Why would I want to believe in a murderous God who justifies victim-blaming rape victims and tells women that they should be silent and submissive? It says a whole lot of awful things about women. Why would I want to believe that? And why would you want to believe that about your world?
Because it's improved. We don't live in Old Testament law anymore. It's improved. We live in the modern law.
New Testament's not any better.
Where do you think it says women should remain silent, submissive? What? That's in the New Testament. That's Paul.
He also says
Jesus affirms the laws of the Torah.
I mean,
break a
women.
single-
I've been to many churches, and women were talking in those churches.
Yeah,
and
that's because Christians don't actually do what the Bible says. They kind of just make up. They like us.
if
they
we
kind of make
did
up
what the
their own
Bible
moral-
said, would that be more convincing to you?
This is about
It
the
would be-
Bible. Okay? This isn't about like what
Nobody's
you think
living
the
up to
Bible
the
says.
standards of the Bible, so why should I? You're a zealot, and I appreciate that about you.
No.
No,
it's not.
I think. Oh, I'm making up my own moral system, and so do you. But the difference is, I just don't claim it's like God is dictating it.
Right. You need a good example to live by. You need to find a mentor,
I don't need
someone
a
you
mentor.
respect.
What?
You don't.
No.
Nobody needs a mentor, but I mean, you have a lot of potential, and I think you're just waiting for.
God.
I don't know how to explain.
I think he was severely confused.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck is happening? You need a mentor.
Yeah,
What?
you need a Minto. Anyways, not you. Him. Let's see.
figured.
Dude called him a zealot. I've never been called a zealot. That's crazy. It's wild. That was.
I'm
Oh,
so sorry that the Bible says awful things and you just don't know it. But it does.
Glitter says his content was whack. Yeah. Also, we don't live by the law of Christ in the United States. We live according to like Enlightenment values. So, yeah. If we still lived according to the New Testament, we'd just be a shitty society. And I love how you pointed out that, well, the women in my church talk. Yeah, because they don't give a shit what's in the Bible. Not really. There are probably men in his church who have long hair. Because they don't actually give a shit what's in the Bible.
Oh,
How many Christians have divorces? Even though Jesus
Right.
said you're not allowed to. You know, all that kind of stuff. If you have read 1 or 6 Bibles, none of them are similar. The translations, yeah, sure, the translations aren't. Some of them are kind of similar to each other, but yeah, I mean, different ways of translating the Bible for sure. I don't know how to direct response. Jesus didn't abolish the law of Moses. He brought a new covenant. I mean, yes, the Gospels say. Beetlejuice appeared before me and asked me to declare my children for write-offs. He brought what comes next. I mean, he didn't really. That's just the claim that the authors of the New Testament make on behalf of Jesus. I don't think Jesus ever really did anything like that. Tiny Science says, why do people need to defend God? Why can't God do it? He's lazy. I'll say this about Catholics, Sergey Malon. At least they actually do what Jesus said in regards that they don't allow divorce. Like, they're actually consistent on that point, where Protestants are like, divorce is like as prevalent in Protestantism as it is outside of Christianity. He's old and tired, I suppose. Yeah, God is old and tired. He's just up there on his cloud saying, you kids get off my damn lawn. Let's see, they wouldn't let me join the church. I mean, yeah, they're pretty picky. Why should I believe in the Bible? Because the Bible is the Word of God. Starday. I don't believe you. No, it's in there. Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Mary was Eve's redemption. Blah, 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 blah. Sure, but yeah, I mean, I know that's in the Bible. I just don't think that the historical Jesus actually ever said that. That's kind of the point. I couldn't partake of the Eucharist because I had a divorce. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know. I was Catholic. I remember.
you had a divorce?
No, if you are in sin, like you've committed some mortal sin, like divorce, you cannot participate in the Eucharist.
Oh, why do any of them ever?
Because they go to confession.
and
You
then
know
you can
that
hit.
you know that every single one of them have committed a sin.
No. What? Yeah, you commit a mortal sin, not venial sin that you can't participate in the Eucharist, only mortal sin. And as long as you go to confession, then you can participate in the Eucharist, which is why a lot of churches have confession the day before, like Sunday Mass, and usually before Mass as well. Let's see. Caught you on the unapologetic. Just wish they didn't give so much time to Infinity Talk. Yeah, the guests made the claim that it was impossible. I messaged, and I said, here, let me see what I said to him. It was really funny. I said, guest says you can't traverse infinity, yet I've sat through this infinitely long argument. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Isn't your job to affirm the history? It is your job to make the case of virtues, or I don't understand what the Ridley. I don't understand what your statement is. It wasn't coherent enough. Let's see. Should I cancel my plans for Mortal Sin Mondays? No, absolutely not. Like, participate in it. Masturbate. That's a mortal sin. Go ahead. Go do it. I encourage it. Everyone, whip the schlong and flick the bean tonight in honor of Mortal Sin Monday. Sir, do you believe that there is a God? No, I don't. I'm saying it impacts the trajectory of your life. Yeah, sure. Not believing in it impacts the trajectory of my life for the better. Thank you for that. Oh man, I'm gonna bring that to Justin tomorrow. I'm gonna tell him Happy Mortal Sin Monday. Let's see. Wait, what are all the mortal sins? So there's not an official list of mortal sins in the Catholic Church. Basically, in Catholicism, a mortal sin is a grave sin that you perform willingly and knowing that it is a sin. Venial sins are like lighter sins that you may have accidentally done or don't have like a big impact. So, what do you believe in? I'm an atheist.
I believe
Joanne said,
in this ginger ale because it tastes good.
made with 100% real gingers.
Yeah, it says it on the can too.
My friend Elizabeth, she has red hair, and she talks about her favorite drink is like this Moscow thing, and she told me it has ginger. Yeah, and she says it's got ginger beer in it. I was like, I told her, makes sense.
Is there a term for being prejudiced against the color of people's hair?
That's a good question. Let's ask. Let's see. Is there a specific term for what is called when you're prejudiced against someone because of the color of their hair? ChatGPT is gonna be like, what? Yeah, that actually is a word for that, though it's not super formal in academic psychology or law. The general term people use is hairism.
Yeah, you're a hairist.
No, I like red hair. I think like red hair is super sexy. It's like exotic and all that.
It's exotic.
Yeah, it's rare. It's like everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? People in the comment section, put a one if you think genders are sexy.
Word for it.
Sir Gangle says he ain't lying. Yeah.
You know, hair dye exists, right?
Yeah, but natural is better. Like natural genders are better.
Yeah, it's really hard color to like actually dye your
Yeah,
hair to get like that natural ginger hair.
yeah, because it always comes out looking like actual red when people try to dye their hair. Yeah. Let's see. We've made some wild statements tonight. Anyways, then why are you talking about sin? Because it was part of it came up naturally in the conversation, Stardew. Also, we talk about the Bible here, and the Bible talks about sin, so, you know. Aaron, my buddy Aaron. By the way, Aaron, I saw you were one of the first people to comment on the Unapologetic show today.
Yeah, I got there really early because I thought it was at 10.
Yeah, it was you and Elizabeth. You both showed up early on, so
Yeah, we were
VIPs.
excited.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say it was great to see you on there, even though like you kind of had to zone out for the Infinity talk.
Yeah, a lot of that I just put myself on mute because I was just like, I guess I'll just sit here and listen to Blitz and Ian. I mean, they really cooked. They did fantastic. I was glad that I just got to be like moral support.
Yeah, and you know, there was that one guy you really cooked that almost was trying to take up the entire stream, but
Yeah, I'm glad that Blitz was like, we should like he kind of reined me in because I would do that if he was if that.
It was so frustrating. You were just repeating the same things over and over. It was like, move left. No, you block him. Move right. No, you block him. Back left. Block. Like for like 20 whole minutes.
Yeah, I it's one of the things I've noticed is that whenever it comes to messianic prophecies and specifically when it's about the Psalms, I will like dismantle a psalm by saying, look, it literally says it's for David and it's using first person pronouns, and nothing in the text says it's prophetic. Then they'll just quote another psalm like, no, it's the same problem.
It's a psalm. It's a psalm. Like it's in the name.
I love that Blitz didn't know what I meant by my super chat.
Oh yeah, I figured because it had been a couple of chats before, so I figured I would have to explain it to him. Yeah, it was nice though.
I just wanted you to get the most super chats.
It was pretty cool though because after we ended, we talked for like a couple of minutes and just hung out and shot the shit, and then Blitz had to go and eat. Blitz was very ready to end the live because he was hungry. He hadn't eaten yet.
Mm.
Nice. All right, just wanted to say hi and thanks for today. That was great.
Absolutely, Aaron. We'll see you around.
Yep.
Aaron's one of the MVPs. He shows up all the time in my lives, and he shows up at Unapologetic. I mean, same with you, obviously, Ashlyn. Don't feel left out. There are 3 people
I'm
that
special.
show up.
I talk to you every day.
There are 4 people off the top of my head, actually 5 people off the top of my head that I think of that show up consistently on my lives, and that would be obviously you. Actually 6, because Micaiah/J. Okay. There's Elizabeth, Doug Debug, Aaron, and Sir Game a Lot. And these are like the top 6 people who show up consistently on these lives.
There's a lot. I think JT's in here a lot.
JT is in here a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of people who show up consistently, and I love you all for it.
Chapter's in here quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, Chapter. That's another good one. Yeah.
Glitter.
Love having
Sir Game
Glitter. I already mentioned them.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you so much for the heart, Kilvester. We love you too, bro. So Sir Game a Lot. Thank you so much. Your fan club, absolutely. By the way, I only started my YouTube channel this week, and right now we're sitting at 204 subscribers. That's fantastic. Love to see that, but it only puts the pressure on me to produce more. Did you see, Ashley? Did you see my video I made today?
No, I've been at work. Actually,
You
now that
liked
I'm
it.
thinking about it, who did?
You did. You liked the video.
Oh, then I did see it.
the Sora video
Oh
with Adam
yeah,
and Eve and
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it was really weird.
yeah, it's uncanny kind of. It's not
Yeah.
it's not quite there yet, but it was fun to make it.
Actually,
Yeah.
wasn't JT, weren't you a Christian when we met you? Like almost
Were
a
they?
year. Yeah, I think JT, weren't you? Or like a deist or something? I'm trying to remember. No, it wasn't you. Okay, I thought it was you. There was someone that I...
Starday says, "Sir, do you know good from bad? Do you?" Like, this is one of my new favorite questions to ask Christians who think they have like an understanding of morality. If God was evil, could you know it? Yeah. But I'm also very good at being bad. Anyways,
What was
just
that?
did that. I'm flirting with everyone in the comment section. They said yes.
Lady,
how
is
would
he
you be?
single?
Starday said yes. So Starday, how could you tell if God was evil? Tell me. Oh my God. Nor not the real Dwight says, "Oh, behave." Yeah, baby. Yeah. Do I make you horny, baby? Anyways, let's see. Christians don't know how to define free will or subjective/objective. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. I literally just watched all three Austin Powers movies a couple weeks ago, so it's fresh in my mind.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Starday, I don't understand what you're trying to say to me. You're just speaking incoherently. And in spite of that one chatter earlier, you have a good stash going. Oh, yeah. So I've got 3 times now. I've asked people have asked me if I'm a cop.
I love that this man can speak and write in 3 languages, but he has trouble with the word stash.
Do you know what's funny? Is that when I was first reading the Old Testament when I was younger, and most of it I was not reading in English for the first time when I read it. I was reading it in Hebrew primarily. There were words that I knew in Hebrew, and sometimes I wouldn't know them in English. For example, the book of, in English you say Nehemiah. That still sounds weird to me. The book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah sounds like a redneck's name. For me, Nehemiah. But for me, it will always be the book of Nehemiah, because that's the way I knew it first. Or the 3 people who get thrown into the fire is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or whatever it was.
Oh, I thought you meant like Elias has, there are Arabic words that just don't translate into English. I thought that's what you meant.
Oh, I mean, sometimes I would know the Hebrew word, but then, like, for some reason, the English word would just escape me. What's an example? I would say the word Navi, and then I was like brain farting until someone said prophet. I'm like, yes, thank you. Redneck's name. Yeah, there are tons of Old Testament names that to me sound like old prospector names. There's Obadiah and Nehemiah, Amos.
Heather's says the duo is back.
The duo is back, baby. Amos sounds super redneck to me, because I knew it as, it's a long A, Amos. Nahum. Dalton, you are cracking me up. Thank you, Chapter. Yeah, that's just me, though. My name is Jedediah. Yeah, JT says my name is Jedediah. Jedediah sounds like a cowboy's name. let's see.
I,
Because they
I would.
are.
I just want to see the westerns where this is in, where there's a guy in a western named Jedediah.
Yeah. Night at the Museum.
What? Night at the Museum is not a western.
There's a cowboy in it. Yeah, Owen Wilson. He plays.
What?
Owen Wilson plays
There are. Why do these not sound western to me at all? They sound. They sound Middle Eastern, Near East. These sound like Near Eastern names.
Jedediah?
Yes.
Elias sounds like a cowboy name.
No.
Yeah. Jedi is a great name. I saw this really funny video. At this point, we're not even talking about the Bible. I saw this really funny video where these women were talking about if you didn't know the meaning of these names, they would sound like really good names for kids, like felony. Like, this is my daughter, felony.
Hey, Sarah's in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Sarah.
it? What does it mean?
It means princess.
Oh, that was my stripper
So the
name.
oh, that's right. Sarah Smiles.
I really
yeah.
went for the biblical name.
So Sar in Hebrew means prince, and Sarah means princess. I don't know what Rebecca in Hebrew means. It's Rivka, but I don't know what it means.
I would
Someone
have
said,
said Ruth, but Ruth is just kind of. Sorry if anyone in here's named Ruth, but Ruth sounds like an 80-year-old woman.
"Oh, it's such a sweet name."
It is
In
a
Hebrew,
sweet name, but it's just not a young name.
in Hebrew, it's pronounced root.
Like a root
Let's see.
canal?
Yeah, in biblical Hebrew, you would say Ruth, but in modern Hebrew, they don't generally pronounce the letter Tav as a th when there's a dagesh not present, so they just say always. They just pronounce it as a hard T, root.
I guess if anyone has
Yeah.
questions, they could ask. Or Christians, y'all could come up.
Dead for Jesus says, nobody forces you to believe. That's why give us free will. There is no such thing as free will. Die and find out if your theology is right. Well, the thing is, if I'm correct, I wouldn't figure out if I died because I wouldn't exist anymore. Like so here's the thing. Christians are so stuck in their way of thinking that they cannot understand this point. They'll say, well, when we die, well, guess we'll find out who's right. Well, no. If I'm right, you won't find out because you'll cease to exist. No, you can't die and find out. Like, you only find out if there's a religion, which is true. If the religions aren't true and there's no afterlife, then when you die, you don't find out. You just cease to exist.
I was on Atheist Z's live this morning before yours, watching you, and I was arguing with this guy, who was like, he was trying to convince me that, like, in like reincarnation and meditation and all of that, and that that our like nothing our perception is an illusion, and I was like, no. And then I had to explain to him sensation and perception. And then he's like, well, how can you know this? How can you know this? And I was just like, if you just want to do hard solipsism, like, there's no point in having this conversation. And you don't know anything, and I don't know anything. Therefore, there's, like, just go crawl in a hole and, like, just let yourself starve to death. I don't know what to tell you. This is absolutely absurd to argue, because you can't argue anything from your position as well. So I hate when people try to, they don't even know that they're arguing it. I was like, there are axioms that are self-evident. Well, that's kind of redundant. Axioms mean self-evident. I was just trying to explain it to him. I was like, that I exist and that I experience things. That's the base of my knowledge. I don't assume anything else besides those things, and these are things that we all must assume. So,
Dead for Jesus said, die and find out if that thinking is correct. Like, no. Like, unlike you, I'm not horny for dying. I actually like life. And I don't think that this life... And I think that this life is the only one I got, so why would I... Like, what a dumb thing to say. Like, think with your head for 5 seconds, you dumbass.
oh, I have a
Anyways.
Descartes joke. So, Descartes walked into a bar and he ordered a drink. Or no, he didn't order a drink. I already screwed it up. Descartes walked into a bar and sat down. The bartender asked if he wanted a drink. He said, "I think not," so he disappeared.
Oh, I think not. I think not. I think therefore I am. Okay, yeah.
I'm
That's
tired,
good.
y'all.
Mm.
Someone, if anyone's new here, I work at a place, and there's like a football game. Someone pooped on our floor, and then threw up in our bathroom.
Anyways.
She put the carts before the horse.
The cart before the horse. That's good. Someone said, this
Do
person
not
again.
think, therefore I do not am. Yes. I'm loopy, y'all. I'm loopy.
This is a stupid thing that someone said. So you had rather burn for the rest of your existence in hell than live in heaven. That's a stupid question. I know they say that there's no such thing as stupid questions, but there are. And that was one of them. And it's a stupid question because it assumes that I think hell exists. I don't. Think before you type, people. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I never think before I type. I just put 2 LOLs in a sentence, and I did not mean to.
R.A. says, I thought free will existed regardless. No. So determined will exists, but the free will doesn't. The Bible has been proven? No, it hasn't.
Someone said, "Why are people pissing at concerts to show in the crowd?" That's what I want to know. No, I work at like a restaurant. They pooped on the restaurant floor. That's the worst part.
Ugh, God, I'm never working in the food industry ever again. You should have met. If you would have known me back then, I was miserable.
Oh, yeah, and I was put on a station. I've yet to be actually trained on anything. They keep throwing me in things and being like, "You're smart. You'll figure it out."
Doug says, Dalton, what do you do for work now? Okay, everybody, I'm about to blow your mind. Because I know everyone on here thinks of me as some sort of scholar or whatever. No, I work at a gas station for a living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're both broke bitches. Even though I have a whole bachelor's degree.
Yeah. Maybe some just kidding. What's crazy is it probably wasn't even a kid that did all that. No, it probably was an adult.
They were all on something. Like, and then I'm working with like 17-year-olds, and she's like telling me everything, and I was like, I don't need to know this. And I was in such a bad mood because I was in pain that like at 8 o'clock I just straight yelled at these people to get the fuck out. And then one guy came in, and they came in like right at 8, and I was like, y'all need to leave. Don't go to the bathroom. And she walks in the bathroom. He could have just told me she was pregnant. I did not know that. So I'm like, no, you need to leave. She's like, I'm not leaving her in there. And I'm like, you need to leave now. And like, then my boss came out because he was cleaning the puke, and he's like, oh, she's pregnant. I was like, oh, no, you're good. You're good. She could pee. She could spit all she wants in there.
Oscar Joseph in the comment section says, and this again is their inability to think outside their immediate box, is 66 books, multiple authors, no contradictions. Only 66 books if you're a Protestant. If you're a Catholic, that's like 73 books. If you're Orthodox, it's more. If you're Ethiopian, it's even more. The idea of canon, the 84. The idea of canon is stupid and arbitrary, just like borders. And also, there are tons of contradictions.
Yeah, they completely left out books about women. Specifically, like purposely.
Ruth.
The Gospel of Mary.
No, I'm talking
Lilith.
about the oh, sure. No, it's not that they left them out. I mean, like, if I was choosing the book of the Bible, I wouldn't include those books either, because they're just they're hundreds of years after the fact. Like, they're so late. There are books I also would include, like Revelations and for the same reason, or the fake epistles of Paul, the inauthentic ones. But those books were written so late that that's pretty much the reason why they chose not to include them in the first place.
Then which ones am I thinking about? Because I was watching the History Channel, and they were talking about one
which
about.
Yeah, the one which is early enough to be like in the first century is the Gospel of Thomas. But the rest of them are like really late books.
Interesting.
There's
one about a woman that they specifically said it was about her. I don't remember what it is. I'm too tired, y'all.
The Gospel of Thomas is pretty misogynistic the way it ends. It has Jesus telling the disciples that the female followers of Jesus, like Mary and stuff like that they will have to be made male so that they can enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Sounds honestly, why I'm surprised they didn't add that one.
Yeah. Oh man, it would have been great if they would have included the Ascension of Isaiah, because it's just a crazy ass book. Let's see. Are they hiding stories from the early years, the experimental years? You guys ever read the Gnostic Gospels? I've read the Ascension of Isaiah, which has a Gnostic Gospel in it. Gnostic is here's a tricky thing. There was a time in scholarship where we thought that there was a category of Christian called Gnostics, but we don't really consider that a valid category anymore. There really isn't like a group of Christians who are known as the Gnostics. It's just that there were lots of different versions of Christianity, and we've arbitrarily named some of them Gnostics. That's the current view from the scholarship, was that we don't really consider the Gnostics a valid category anymore.
Wait, like they don't exist? Because I'm pretty sure during the 2nd century weren't there Gnostics?
These people existed, but like categorizing them as Gnostics is just not accurate, because like none of them believed the same thing as each other. It's like so diverse and so many different ideas that it's impossible really to label them as being a certain thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but they would be Gnostic though, like they, in a sense, or like in the sense of the actual word?
Some of them would have believed that secret knowledge could attain you salvation, which is where the word Gnostic comes from. It comes from the Greek word gnosis, which means knowledge. But this is not universal amongst all the Gnostic texts. Let's see. Demiurge.
The History Channel needs to update, because...
Why are you watching the History Channel?
This was when I was in the hospital.
They have ancient aliens on the History Channel.
Well, that's why I didn't take it seriously. But there was nothing else on, so I watched the Bible. And I laughed at it for like a whole hour.
So that's why you brought that up. That's wild.
You think I was watching this for fun? Yes, I understand the History Channel is not accurate.
Yeah, that was I watched that when I was probably 14 or 15 years old when it came out on TV. And there was a really controversial scene in the Bible series.
Is the Promised Land series out yet?
I don't know. Satan. So it was a controversial scene it's the scene where Jesus is being tempted by the devil in the wilderness. And the reason that the scene was considered controversial was because Satan kind of looked like Barack Obama. Let me
What? It is out. Episode 2 is finally here.
I'm gonna turn my camera around. Right. There I am. All right, turn the camera around. Flip. And this was considered very controversial. I mean, they don't really look all that much alike, but they looked enough alike that it made people like it was like something to talk about. Ashlyn, am I still here?
I can't see you. But you're here.
Where is my face at? Oh, no wonder the camera's still backwards.
Yeah, the episode 2 is out of the Promised Land series.
Oh, there we are. Oh, all right. It's 9:09, and we haven't gotten any takers in a while. So let's see who's live right now, and we'll send them a Bible Guy raid.
Let's see. Tiny Sciences, Daniel is, Godless Reggie is.
I think I want to send a raid to. Quantanaut is alive. Who do I want to send it to? Daniel? Anybody? Okay, everyone. We're gonna go send a Bible Guy raid to Daniel Green. Yeah, so go do that and tell him that the Bible Guy sent you. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my TikTok. My screen, my link tree has my YouTube channel on it, and I will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Justin's show, The Deconstruction Zone. But thank you all for your time, and we'll see you guys later. Love you all.